Thank goodness
What
she's
a girl
fixed
wants.
It's not. Is
They
it what
just
she
want to have
needs?
fun.
Girls just want to have fun and hump your arm.
Is that what a girl needs?
There's your
Joe?
intro.
No.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of this My Bourbon podcast where we discuss the spirit of Kentucky. My name's Perry, and I have back with me Chad and Sarah.
Hey.
All of a sudden,
Hi.
it was like not 2 weeks in a row, but like twice in a month, I guess.
Yeah.
When you guys have been on. It's
It was so
crazy.
fun last time. We just had to come back for more.
It was so fun. Breaking records and breaking a list.
Breaking hearts.
Man, that poor list. I will say, though, that episode has been one of our best or most well-received episodes so far. It was like our quickest to 250 downloads.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Nice.
So thank you guys for...
I don't know who to congratulate about that, but good job.
You're welcome.
Team effort. But I have to say thank you, though, to the listeners for,
For listening.
Thanks, listeners.
latching on to that episode and
They
making
like
it a
us.
success.
They really like us.
So, as always, we drink on the show because that's just who we are and what we do. I'm sorry if I sound a little tired and deflated this episode. I had a long,
Oh, we're going to fix that, Perry.
Yeah.
trust me, I'm gonna
We
fix
will
it
lift
myself.
you up.
I had a long Friday, so we're gonna find
You
it.
lift me up.
No.
I don't know
This
the
is-
other. I don't know the other.
That's not a Josh Groban song.
Not
is
it.
it? Oh
I think
no,
so.
you raise me up.
Oh.
You raise me up.
Oh, no.
I don't.
It's going to get flagged.
Copyright disclaimer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, bourbon. It'll lift you up.
Yeah. So what we're drinking to start off with is T.W. Samuel's Bottled and Bond. This is another Heaven Hill cheap Bottled and Bond drinker.
You know what? It looks awful, but it smells really good.
It smells great.
I'm just really surprised that I've never had this.
I've also never had this.
Well, you can get this at Total Wine for
okay.
less than $20 a handle.
What?
And it's been one of my favorite everyday drinkers recently.
Maybe that's why
actually.
they're just not at Liquor Barn or something.
Yeah, I've never seen it outside of Total Wine.
Okay.
But so this is the namesake for Bill Samuels Sr.'s family.
Maker's Mark, dude.
Yeah. T.W. Samuels was his grandfather or great-grandfather or something. And he was famous for, I think, his rye whiskey, not bourbon. So they really just... Sarah's doing a nice little Instagram story for us.
Nice little story.
Ooh.
Oh, now he's
Uh-oh,
talking.
audio.
My bad.
No, it's okay.
Gotta share. Gotta show the people what's up.
I think Heaven Hill, bought the namesake. I don't know
As they
exactly
do.
what time,
As
but
they all do.
yeah, exactly.
Well, I love how this isn't exactly a complete sentence here at the very top of the label. Every drop Kentucky bourbon. Every drop Kentucky bourbon.
It does sound like it's translated from another
It's
language.
like Borak wrote it.
Very nice.
Very nice. Every drop Kentucky bourbon. Yes, very nice.
You will never get this.
You know who I just found out his wife is? Isla Fisher.
Isla
Yeah.
Fisher.
I had no idea. I was listening to the Hop-Ons podcast today, the Arrested Development review. Which, by the way, by the time this episode comes out, I will have put out an episode with them
Nice.
the week before. So anyway, go back and listen to that episode. I haven't actually done it yet, but go back and listen to that episode. I'm sure it's fun.
I'm
and
sure
great.
it's great.
I'm sure it's fantastic.
Yeah.
But anyway, I think that this label is actually basically what?
Nothing. They're fine.
Oh, okay, they're fine. Cats are fine. I think this is exactly the same label that T.W. Samuels used on his bourbon. Or it may be the same label for his rye. They're fine. They do this all the time.
My bad.
No, it's really okay. I don't want you to not worry. For those of you at home, the cats are like playing in the background, and the littlest one is making a lot of noise. But it does.
And Sarah's concerned
And
about
Sarah's
the
very
littlest
worried,
one.
but
But is he okay? He's fine.
he's fine. I promise. So this reminds me a lot of Elijah Craig.
The nose kind of does. Yeah.
And I do get a lot of the same. I always tend to qualify Elijah Craig as like a baked goods, like a cookie or something.
I mean, it has a nut quality to it.
Yeah, for sure.
Drink.
Damn it.
Nut quality.
There's been
Basically
a lot of
nuttiness.
phone issues going on this episode.
That's not going to be retrievable. That'll be an end of the podcast.
Don't shake the bench.
Where did he? Oh, I thought he grabbed you.
No.
It's like, woo! No, the bench tipped forward.
Yeah, sorry, it's not very
On
stable.
a roller coaster ride. Over
Did you
here.
get it?
No, I'll get it later.
Okay.
I shouldn't be
The
looking
only
at my
people-
phone
No,
during
it's
the
okay.
The
podcast.
only
anyway.
people that are gonna call or text him during this podcast are me and you.
Yeah,
We're
no.
sitting right here.
Or Swan.
Swan.
And if Swan texts us, I'll just
It'll
let
just
you
start
know.
being buzz,
Yeah.
buzz, 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 because that's what it is. I'm like, who? I don't even have to ask anymore. Who's texting you? It's Swan and Perry.
It's Swan. It's Swan. We've backed off a little bit recently. I think once we got out of bourbon season, we
Yeah.
kind of
Wait, that's a whole podcast unto itself. There's a bourbon season? No,
Well,
not in Chad's house.
well, that's
All year round.
a good
son.
point. Yeah, considering I was just waiting in line for you the other day on a Thursday night
In June.
in June
In
for
June.
King of Kentucky.
Yeah.
That's right.
Which, by the way, is going to be our review later in the episode, in case you can't tell by the title
Mm-hmm.
of this episode.
And
Ta-da.
wait, when's
Yeah.
this coming out? 2 weeks from now?
Yes.
2 weeks from recording time?
Yes.
Early July.
You can go. Well, we haven't decided. Are we going to put that on Corking Out like next?
I think we should. It just
Okay,
came out.
it's topical. Okay, go watch our uncorking of King of Kentucky. Plug.
And I don't know what that review was like, so I'm going in totally blind.
Yeah, we said we're not going to give you an inkling
He has
one way
no
or the
idea.
other.
And that's totally fine because I don't even really know what to expect from this. I've not actually seen the actual bottle yet. I've only seen the magical tube that it
you
comes
didn't
in.
peek? Wow.
No, I didn't. Peek. I told you,
Wow.
as I told you in Swan, I didn't want to get the toy out and play with it because it wasn't my birthday party. Like that's the
Dirty. Dirty.
But that's the metaphor I was thinking of. It's like
Put
you
the
know
mouse back in the house, buddy.
when you're a kid and like you have your birthday party. Like this happened to me actually. I don't know if this is a normal thing, but I think at like my 4th or 5th birthday party, I got something and then I think the kid that got it for me took it and went and started playing with it.
Yes.
Yeah.
I can attest to that. Seeing that happen and also wanting to do that, being like, but I really wanted
Yeah,
that toy.
yeah.
My mom was like, you help pick it out. I'm like, but I want it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I have a
want it
story
for me.
about that. So I was going to someone's birthday party.
And
Sure.
how old were you at this time, say?
35.
No, maybe like 6 or 7 or something.
Okay.
I don't know. So my mom bought a He-Man figure, one
Nice.
that I already had, so I wouldn't be all jealous, and wrapped it. But then for some reason I didn't end up going, and then years later I discover that still in the package He-Man.
No way.
Not like 20 years later, just like a few years later.
Sure.
And I was like, oh, but I already have it. So I kept it in the package. I didn't think, oh, now I have two and
Right,
they'll fight
yeah.
each other. I was just like, something in my little brain was like, I'm going to keep this in the package.
So is it like that original run He-Man?
Yes.
Oh.
I still have it. And
Have
it's
you-
still in the package.
Have you looked up the
Chad.
value of it?
Well, unfortunately, when Mom wrapped it, you know how there's the bubble
The
and
card,
then there's the
yeah,
card. Well, she
yeah.
folded the card over to wrap. You know, back then,
Yeah, no one knew.
No one
but
knew.
now I'm like,
Sure.
so
It hurts. It hurts
so
a
the
little.
card is bent.
Sure.
so it's not mint.
It's not mint.
Well, the figure.
but the figure inside is mint.
Yeah.
But it's like, who is it? Oh, it's Manny Faces. You would press a button and he would have one face. He had like
okay.
3 faces.
Okay.
So he would spin in his helmet.
Okay.
So Manny
That's
Faces.
kind of creepy, you guys.
Yeah. Well, here's
T-Man.
my thing though: is I got
A
really
show
excited.
designed to sell toys. If you watch
Much
the
like
toys
Batman and
that,
Robin.
the toys that made us. On
I've not
Netflix.
actually watched that episode yet.
But you guys, this kind of summarizes Chad's like outlook on bourbon too, because it's like, let's get this first little book. We'll get this first little book. We'll never open it. It's the first edition. He made it. They'll never make another first edition. One day in 20 years, maybe it'll be worth something. We'll get another little book if we ever come
Hey,
across
that's
it.
the
I'm
comic
like,
book collector in me too.
Hey.
You know, it's like
No,
He is
I'm totally on board with that.
he has a collector's personality. I think we've narrowed it down
I
quite a bit
collected you.
to bourbon. That's not true.
Aw. Wait, what?
It sounds like you're adding me to your
No, you're
creepy serial killer.
No, you're one of one.
Oh,
Aw,
collected
limited edition.
You're still mint.
Aw,
Well,
Thank you. I'm still mint. Wow.
And you're so fetch.
Oh my gosh.
So moving on.
I feel like we should go back to the
I think
bourbon.
we probably
now.
should. What I was gonna say is that I'm always just
What was I gonna say?
I'm always too curious about a new bourbon release. Like I always want to know.
Well, I'm not going to
What it
unsheath
tastes.
it until we get to it. How about that?
Well, that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, I didn't care.
that's fine. Yeah.
I forgot what we had been talking about before.
Well, I think
T.W.
we were
Samuels.
talking about T.W. Samuels
Okay.
way back when.
It's good.
But-
No, I get the Elijah Craig comparison.
I do.
I think it is, kind of slightly nutty. I like that it's bottled in bond.
Everybody drink.
100 proof. How much for that? 175.
$18.99.
Yeah,
Okay.
worth it.
Oh,
Definitely
totally.
for that price to be from kind of reminiscent of Elijah Craig. It's definitely not the same, but
No.
it isn't bad for this much for that price. I mean,
I drink on it.
definitely
Yeah,
drink that
absolutely.
instead of whatever other kind of bottom shelf
Like
garbage is out there.
175 of Old Crow, 3 years. It's just not gonna be as good.
No, absolutely not. And I
No.
mean, it's what, like $5 or $6 less than this. So
Yeah.
you're not breaking the bank
Yeah,
Spend $5 more
To-
dollars, yeah.
and get 20 proof points higher.
Uh-huh.
yeah.
And
Get them points.
Do
yeah,
it.
totally.
Collect
And
those points.
in a whole nother year at least. I still would prefer like Heaven Hill bottled and bond over this. Unfortunately, Heaven Hill bottled and bond
Yeah,
is
6
not,
years. Mhm.
Yeah, well, it's also not available in a 175.
True.
Is it not?
It's not. You can get the 80 proof in a 175. You can get the 6-year 90 proof in a 175.
Well, I would
but
do
you
that.
cannot get the bottled and bond.
Cannot get.
It is really frustrating.
And only in Kentucky.
Yep, that too.
I do believe.
Sarah's really interested in my cats.
She's sleeping on top of your guitar case. It's cute.
That's okay.
I
like
might be
it.
Oh,
later.
the little one. Yes.
Depending on how much we drink, I might be curled up on that guitar case.
It's the tiniest kitten I've ever seen.
He's a sweet boy. Okay, so I guess we have to find some kind of conversation to go on. But first, I got to ask you guys.
He-Man, mint in
Well,
box.
that's true.
That's our topic for the evening.
Well, okay, let's just talk about all the things that we've bought that we haven't actually enjoyed yet. Chad, comic books, bourbon, and action figures.
I don't have a lot, but I have some action figures still in their thing, and I thoroughly enjoy them. They look great.
I'm so happy for
Oh
you.
my gosh.
I bought some at Star Wars Celebration.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah, man.
I keep forgetting you were there when they announced the whole Disney
I've been to like
merger, right?
4 or 5 Star Wars celebrations.
Nice.
Yeah,
I've always wanted to go.
I think 4.
I mean, I would go to 1. I don't think I would go to 4 or 5. And I don't enjoy the
Well,
action figures as much as
when you
Chad
have a
does.
big group of your friends going, it's more than just the event. It's the camaraderie. It's the,
Sure.
It's the journey, not
Sell
the
me on it.
destination. Anyway.
Anyway,
Go on.
guys, what have you been drinking recently?
Oh, how can I never remember
I can
this?
never come up with this answer. Well, actually, this week I was drinking. I popped on your live
Oh, you did?
Instagram
Yes, that's right.
the other night.
Yeah.
I just got
That
a
was-
wild hair, and I was like, you know what? I'm about to crash.
I've done that before. I've done that before too.
Yeah.
It was really funny, though.
But the Trails End, Oregon. Yeah, from Oregon.
Finished in Oregon. Oak?
Yeah. I have had that bottle for probably 2 years.
It was
with,
the very first uncorking.
It was the very first uncorking.
Trivia.
Yep, and I drank only that much out of it.
That's crazy.
And at the time, I was like, "It's good, but I've got so much more to explore."
Yeah, exactly.
And I went on
Exactly.
about my journey, and then, I came back to it this week because I was like, "Dang, this bottle's been sitting here for a while. I should probably start working on this." And I was like, "You know what? This is better than I thought it was. Like, it's not bad." I guess I kind of just, I don't know, wrote it off as, but
Sure.
it's not bad. So that's kind of what I've been drinking.
Cool.
I've been drinking Booker's.
Well,
Of course,
yeah,
we just
guys
did the
are-
flight fight, but I've definitely been on the Booker's kick. I mean, we got that. Oh, that's what we should have brought. Stupid us. 2018-02, because you still haven't had it.
Oh, I still
What do you
haven't
mean,
had it.
stupid us? I'm the
Stupid
one that's
me.
like, isn't there anything else we can bring
I'm like, I don't know, let's go.
in addition to this?
I almost
Yeah.
brought down my front porch batch.
Yeah.
Too.
Totally would have brought that.
That's
if
okay.
I'd remembered.
I know that
Um,
Kroger in Richmond actually has a couple
yeah.
bottles of it. So
So
Shall we?
The 2018-02
Road trip.
is a thinker for sure. It's an outlier. I feel
Yeah.
like in the Booker's line, at least of recent year, of the days of yore.
Well, having watched your all's live stream too, where you actually tried it, I can't remember exactly what you said, but
Almond butter.
yes, Do you think that it lives up to the hype, though, that has already been surrounding it? Because people have been saying that it's like the best Booker's.
I wouldn't say it's the best. It's
very tasty.
The most different of recent bottles.
Yeah.
It's unique, yeah.
I think it
and tasty, but it's not the best.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
It's one that benefits the most from water. Because normally we try it with water, like, nah, just the way it is. Neat. This one's like, you know what? I can really get down on this with some water. Because, you know, it kind of makes it more of a peanut butter, kind of like more like a Noah's Mill, like that magic Noah's Mill bottle that we had one time. So I probably see that one with water.
Mm-hmm.
Translation: the water makes it nuttier, and so Chad likes it better.
Well, there you go. Because it is pretty. It's pretty stout. It's pretty hot.
It is hot.
Sure.
It was like hot, spicy almond butter,
Yeah.
and not spicy like chilies, but you know, like just that heat hits you right in the chest, and it was
That's
that
why,
and almond butter.
we can't say that it's like the best ever.
Sure. Yeah.
It's not the most
course not.
balanced, but it does have a unique, interesting flavor. I'd be happy to drink it all night.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, for sure.
Well, all night might get you some
I
heartburn.
feel like I'm gonna, my esophagus will be burnt.
That
Can't
Kentucky
speak the
hug be
next
like,
day.
let go of me, Kentucky hug. You're squeezing too tight.
I can't breathe. Anyway.
Well, that's what we've been drinking.
Well,
What you
what
been
about you?
drinking?
Well, when I was in line last night for King of Kentucky,
What were you drinking in line?
well, let me back up. I didn't drink anything in line, but when I got into Liquor Barn and looked at their tasting bar, they had $6 pours of Van Winkle 12 year.
Right,
Wow.
La
So, yeah,
That's
they were
crazy.
sold out about 2 people after I got there.
That's awesome.
It was crazy.
Big. Daggone.
Good for you.
But I hadn't had Lot B in a while, and I it's weird because I kind of have a love-hate relationship with Lot B. Like, I go back and forth with whether or not I really do like it. And I think that it's always going to kind of be a middle-of-the-road bourbon for me. I would personally rather have Weller 12.
Wow.
I think that...
How do you feel about Rip 10?
I actually like Rip 10 a little bit better than I do the 12.
Okay. So what I'm hearing is we need to do a blind Lot B, Rip 10, Weller 12 flight for you.
I would love to do that.
Ooh, you
Yeah.
guys, that sounds like so much fun.
You guys!
Did we just become best friends?
Yeah, we did. That sounds like a great blind flight.
Yeah, that sounds like so much fun. I think the people would enjoy to see that.
Yeah.
The people would like it.
It's for you.
The people.
Would
That's
it
what I'll say to get Chad to break those bottles out.
would it be out of the realm of possibility to throw in like Weller 107 in there too? To round it out at a 4 instead of a 3?
Ooh, interesting.
Because then you have 2 90 proofers and 2 107 proofers.
I would like to do
You
that.
have 2 12s, a 10, and a 6 year. Also.
Well, that's also true.
So you go from 6 to 12, so you're doubling age. That would be an interesting experiment.
I vote yes.
Going 90 to 107 proof, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's not that bad.
It's not that bad.
That's not. I mean, I think that's a decent range. I want to do it.
I wants to do it.
Let's put some heads together and
All
figure
right.
it out.
We're,
Well, I'll make it happen.
we're gonna make
I'll
some
just show up.
calls.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get on the horn. I'm gonna make this
We're
happen.
gonna make it happen.
You watch.
I think that's really all that's been noteworthy for me recently. I'm really excited. So I don't think I've actually talked about this on the show yet, though. Chad and I split a bottle of Jim Beam Black from 1978.
Black Label. I don't know if it's the
I
same.
think it's actually.
If you can
well, yeah.
I don't know if you can call it Beam Black. It's Beam Sour Mash Black Label.
Mm-hmm.
And what's the proof again?
90.
90. Okay, so I
Right.
think that's the same as Beam Black. I think it's 90. I think, or is it 80?
86.
86. Okay,
I
so it's not
think
the same
so.
proof. So it's not the same.
Somebody's screaming at us right now in podcast
Label.
land.
You idiot.
Sarah's on it.
I will say though, I definitely did that listening to something today where I was just
Oh,
like,
totally.
I do it all
When
the
you
You
don't- when
suck,
you're
you're
not on the
wrong.
mic, you can. Yeah, 90 proof.
90 proof.
Yeah. No, I'm talking about Beam Black.
Oh, I know, but I just
Oh,
like
I'm already on
I
it.
was searching all over the label to find the proof, and it's just right
Yeah.
at the top in a nice red bowl.
Totally. I love
But-
how it's aged 101 months.
Well, the reason that I've been calling it black is because
It says Black Label on the label.
no, okay,
And it's
it
a
is
black label?
black label, but Beam Black is famous for being aged more.
Right.
Right,
Extra age.
and
Used
at
to be
this
8
point,
years.
I think that the standard for Jim Beam was 100 months.
So they aged it one extra
An
month?
extra month, yeah.
Lame. LeMay. That is LeMay. Wow.
But that's a terrible reason for me to do that. But anyway, neither of us have tried this yet. So we're going to try to make something of like an event over it, because like we're going to have it and then put it away.
And it's charcoal filtered like Beam Choice.
But I get to have some too, though, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah. No, I just wanted to
86 proof is Jimmy Black.
That's what I thought. But I wanted to, make it a thing, because once I have it, it's going to be in storage for a while at the very least, unless I get to bring it out for Fred Minnick or somebody special like that.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's not really what I've been drinking. It's what I want to.
That's what you've been looking
drinking.
at.
Yeah, it's what I've been excited about
So
drinking.
we're not drinking this right now?
No, not right now.
Oh, come on, guys. Why is it even here in front of me then? Fine.
Jeez.
Well,
no, it's okay.
You sure?
Yeah, I'll get over it.
We'll make it.
We've
special.
got plenty of other bottles on the table.
We do.
We'll do it. We'll do a whole thing.
Yeah,
it'll be a whole thing.
So, what do you guys want to drink next? We have an array of whiskeys to try.
Is this guy on the menu?
It is. Yes.
Interesting.
So the reason I brought this out, it's an Old Scout rye. The reason I brought it out is because last episode we reviewed the Big Level from Smooth Ambler, and I had brought up that I had you guys tried this Old Scout rye pick before.
Now this is MGP.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, yeah, we did have MGP on the table.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's an off-air conversation. But I had said that I think I got you to try it before, Sarah, and you said you weren't sure. So
That's correct. I'm still not sure.
yeah. I say we work up to that, though, because it's 122 proof, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
You are correct, sir.
I feel like that's a good choice.
Yeah, and,
8 years.
closer to our review portion. So, we just did a bottle and bond. We could do another bottle and bond in the Wilderness Trail.
Well, let's go down to that 98.6.
Yeah?
Let's take its temperature.
So we can...
98.
And we lost Chad. Well, this is a knob creek single barrel. I'm telling you, it's been that kind of day. Wow. It's a 1792 single barrel.
Ooh, too soon.
Well, I mean, we do have to drink something in memoriam of them, right?
Man,
memoriam.
All them barrels.
They're not dead.
No.
How many did they actually lose?
I don't know if they lost any.
Well, see, 9,000 were affected.
Yeah, I don't know if they lost.
Something had to have been lost because it got into the stream nearby and killed fish.
I thought they said it didn't.
No,
they
were fined by the EPA.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
it's to my understanding.
Yes. Yeah,
okay,
that's what I understood too.
But that picture I saw, it was just a bunch of barrels laying out. I didn't see anything coming out of them.
Right. But they definitely affected they lost
those ones on the bottom, obviously.
But they didn't lose half a rick house worth of of bourbon, though, which is...
It probably tastes better because now it's
agitated. Who knows what they're going to be able to do with it, though? Or what they're going to do with it.
Like, Chad and Swan and I got into a conversation the other day about, like, what's going to happen with it. And we were talking about how Barton is also owned by Sazerac, who owns Buffalo Trace as well. Right. And when the tornado hit Buffalo Trace and they put out that E.H. Taylor, they... And I had this whole laundry list of reasons why this is what's going to happen. Mm-hmm. But what it got down to was, like, I think what they'll probably do is use a gray label around the neck because that's what caused it. And if you look at what they used for some of the color on the E.H. Taylor Tornado Survivor bottle, it was like a bluish gray, like a really dark color, which is kind of like the color that you get when it's a tornado and, you know, all that stuff. So I think that it's in line with this, like, this is all postulating too. Like, I don't know what's actually going to happen, but it's got to be in line with what caused it. And then I was thinking about the day that it happened and how that would be a reasonable... Berlioz, that water's not for you.
That's too funny.
So
the world's tiniest kitten is drinking out of my water right now.
Also, I haven't heard anything you said in the last 2 minutes because I've been watching this kitten. Wow.
All right.
Look at that little tongue.
I don't really mind. They can't see it. You guys,
okay.
They can't see it.
Well,
it's pretty much the cutest thing I've ever seen. Come on,
he's
little
adorable.
guy.
I'm telling you.
He's adorable. I'm still gonna drink out of that.
Well, there's your phone. You could have put it on a story.
I could have. Oh, he's gonna
go for it.
Yeah, he's going for it. He's not bashful. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, I got a good angle.
But anyway, what I was saying is that they're
Snapchat.
They're gonna do like I would say they do a gray neck label for it because it was a gray rick house that fell, and same thing with like
a gray lid.
Yeah, And then I think the day that it happened was like June 22nd. I don't think that's too outside of the realm of possibility for like their ABV 62.2, which would be like 124.4. I mean, it would be less yield in terms of release, but I still think that it would be a good possibility for that special release, the Rickhouse Collapse Survivor special edition from 1792.
Agreed.
But, again, it's all postulating. I think it's bound to happen at some point because they're both owned by Sazerac, and it just seems like it's not too far out of their wheelhouse to do a special release.
Well, they can't recoup all that money, but they got to do something to recoup some of it.
They do.
So they could do a special release and charge a little bit more for it and make a little bit of that cost of building a warehouse back.
Right. And you talked about it on your live stream, too. Is that what you're about to say? Where it was like how much money they would have lost with...
Yeah, and I did the high math, like, of what they would charge per bottle, not their actual hard costs.
Right.
So, I mean, the missed opportunity is kind of what I did, but at the same time, I mean, they, all press is good press in a way. So everyone's talking about 1792 right now. And if you didn't know about it before, you know about it now, if you're in the bourbon community.
Let's drink some 1792.
It would be a marketing...
Let's
do it. It would be a marketing miss to not do something with that bottle. Like, with the results that they saw from the Buffalo Trace Tornado bottle, there's just... I don't see a reason why you wouldn't want to do it.
And I've already seen, which is ridiculous, 1792 small batch flying off the shelves.
You can't... Yeah, it's gone.
It's almost dumb.
They do still have it at Total Wine. I was there today. For, like... Not that much.
No,
for
it's Total Wine.
$27.
And it normally runs for what?
No,
30?
It was less than that. It was crazy. It was a good deal. I'll get some of this. Thank you.
So what we are drinking again is 1792 single barrel at 96 or 98.6 proof.
Thanks.
You're very welcome. This was a gift from, as we've talked about him like 1,000 times on this episode already, our buddy Swan, the bourbon finder.
Swan. I feel like we should have like a Swan call.
Swan count?
Swan.
But like a call.
No, it's just Adam Sandler going, "Stop looking at me, Swan."
Stop looking at me, Swan.
That was from
Billy Madison.
Billy Madison. There we go.
Pre-recorded sound effect that we just hit the button like on
This
radio.
isn't a morning show.
Yeah, but it could be.
Toilet flushing.
What was the name
For
of
some reason.
the show on Parks and Rec? Crazy Ira and the Douche? That's what it was.
Oh, yeah. It's underrated.
Or
Such a great show.
Dingo and the Baby.
The nose on this is so good.
I really do like
Oh,
this.
that's
it's,
magic.
It's really kind of floral, I think.
It is, but it's also like...
I'm not... it tastes
Really?
weak to me.
It's like
Taste or
brown
smell,
sugar
sorry.
and cake batter
Yeah,
or
I'm
not
something,
getting
like
that
brownie
at
batter. Ooh.
all.
Give it a swirl. Give it a swirl, Chad. Almost called you Swan.
Swan.
Give it a
Give
swirl,
it a swirl, Swan. Swirl, Swan. That's fun to say.
I don't know. Still smells muted to me.
I think that's fair.
Let's see what it tastes.
Let's do it. It's a pretty short palate, I would say.
It is. I really liked the nose better.
It tastes.
Mwah.
It tastes very. Wah, wah, wah.
Yeah.
It tastes very honey-y.
Yeah.
Green tea and honey.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
yes,
definitely.
I see it. Chad,
I'm telling you,
Your
sometimes
palate has just been on point recently, man.
It has been. I'm
It's
like,
really
what's
crazy.
going on with
I'm
you?
turning into a Rain Man of descriptors. Yeah,
Rain Man of descriptors.
I don't want to.
Definitely green tea and honey. Yeah, yeah.
I'm gonna let you. I was gonna let you do the Rain Man impression. I was not gonna.
It's not
get
the
to,
best. But
No.
yeah.
No. No, this
It
is.
could use some work.
I could definitely.
This is not bad by any means.
Not
it's
bad.
just.
It's definitely short.
It doesn't have a whole lot of the bourbon character. Is this what you're about to say? It doesn't have a
dry.
whole lot of bourbon characteristics.
I feel like if the taste of this matched the nose, this would be one of the most delicious bourbons that I personally feel like I would ever have.
Chad highly disagrees.
Girl,
He
you're
doesn't-
crazy.
He doesn't agree. Well, I tend to agree with Perry. So.
Oh, that's true. You guys.
Sarah and I do
or
have
Perry
very
agrees
sim-
with me, whoever gets there first.
You were probably first, so.
I don't know. I think it kind of does taste like it smells to me. Just a little flat.
I think that's a fair
It is a
assertion.
little flat, but I would say it
There's
has
nothing
good
remarkable
qualities
about it.
to it.
Mhm.
I think that it's got potential.
It's very different. It's not like anything that I've typically drink.
Yeah, I mean, I think it would be easy to drink. You know, I could sip on this all night.
I agree.
Not sure.
I'd like something with a little more
but yeah.
oomph.
Good.
But
Good. Yeah.
I was just so hopeful.
I kind of was too, and like I've talked about this with Swan before. Unfortunately, it's just not a very good single barrel of 1792. But you know, it's interesting to kind of come back to.
Of all the single barrels, I wouldn't put this one very high.
I don't think I would either. It almost tastes like it's trying to compete with something, and I can't quite put my finger on it. Like what exactly it is. I don't know if it's like a Blanton's that it's trying to.
I kind of get a little. It's a little in the Blanton's.
You know what I'm
wheelhouse.
saying?
Yeah.
Like it has something that like it's like somebody tried it and they go, oh, it's similar to this, but it has something that's a different quality that maybe could be attractive to
a much higher floral note that I think is kind
than
of
Blanton's has.
yeah turning me off
For sure.
Yeah,
I think I get that.
it's all right.
Yeah. Well,
There ain't nothing wrong with it, in my opinion.
No, we still have a little bit.
Oh, I can go.
No. It's fine. I mean, you guys do have to drive back to Lexington, so.
True.
Or Chad does.
He
or
does. I'm
somebody.
just along for the ride. We're gonna stop at Wendy's.
Oh my.
He doesn't
The
know
Wendy's
it yet.
that's right over there.
Any Wendy's.
Right by
it
my
doesn't
house.
matter.
Doesn't matter.
You
This-
don't choose the Wendy's, Perry. The Wendy's chooses
Well,
you.
I will say that this Wendy's has the best Wendy's fries.
Now it's a done deal.
Wait, they have Wendy's fries?
I don't know what that joke was supposed to be, but
Anyway,
You said Wendy's fries. Of course they're gonna have Wendy's.
so the more of this I have, the better that Wendy's is gonna taste.
no, yeah, well, that's a good point.
And I
Go
can
for
get
it.
a Frosty.
Hey, today starts my week vacation, so I'm gonna get some fries.
Oh, happy vacation there, Chad.
Frosty.
Yeah. So we're here to have fun. Let's do it.
Girls just
Keep
want to have
this party
fun.
Do we want to actually have a topic, or are we just gonna drink?
Let's topic it up. Let's
Yeah,
talk.
I think we're
Okay,
gonna start
sure.
our topic.
Well,
All
let's,
right.
let's get another pour, so something to sip on.
Okay.
But let's topic it.
I think that's the way each of these conversations has started. Like, but let's get a pour first
Let's
before
do
we
something
start,
first before we. Yeah.
and then we go off on.
Should we be constructive? Yeah, but let's get a pour first.
Yeah, but bourbon. Okay, so do you want to go for the Wilderness Trail?
Well, I think
You guys have not had this yet, correct?
I have a bottle, but I have not opened it. Yeah,
That's great.
I have in fact opened it, as you can probably tell.
I surmised that.
Yes.
Yeah, let's do it.
Here, I'm gonna let you take that off
So
because I
this
have a
is-
glass of water in my other hand.
This is their first release. This is a Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey, and it's bottled in bonds,
And it's wheated.
And it's wheated. It's a wheated whiskey, so it's 4 years old.
Sorry.
I mean, every day. You can't see me, but I'm shaking my head. I love him, but gosh,
That's who the I'm sorry was to. It was to Sarah, not Chad or the listener.
just sorry. Sarah. It's okay. He'll drive me home and take me to Wendy's, so I can put up with it.
Yeah, you'll
Yeah.
put up with it. You're getting Wendy's.
Listen,
It's
you
the
guys,
Wendy's
he gives me
episode.
a lot of bourbon, so you don't understand.
Yep.
Nah, he's
So
alright.
Wilderness Trail used to be Wilderness Trace, and I'm guessing they got a cease and desist from Buffalo
Buffalo
Trace,
Trace.
because if you
They're-
go to their
Because they have
distillery-
better lawyers.
Yeah, if you go to their distillery, they have a barrel head still mounted to their outside wall that says Wilderness Trace.
Do they still use this horrible font? And I love
No, not on the thing.
I love the folks at Wilderness Trail. They are very nice people. We're actually going to have them on the show at some
There
point.
you go.
Are you gonna tell them that you hate their font?
I don't like this font.
I mean, it kind of
It's
reminds
just me.
It reminds
Hi.
me a little bit of like an italicized papyrus, and I don't like it
Yeah,
either. To
yeah,
be honest,
I
that's-
thought you were going to say that.
That's my problem with it as well.
yeah, nerds.
Hey, everybody knows that I'm a graphic designer that listens to the show,
Yeah.
so of course I'm going to go. Well, the label's okay. I like the overall label of it. It's just where it says Wilderness Trail, and actually bourbon too. that
And
I
single
like.
barrel.
But that's
Say
it.
single barrel.
No, I get you, and I feel the same way. I don't. What's wrong with the
Thank
little
you.
bee? Why is it? It looks like a matchstick
I
that
don't
has
like it.
been blown out or something. I don't know. Oh, are you coming up for some water too?
All
We
right.
got another cat on
Other
the table.
cats here.
Does your cat make too much noise?
Cat on the table, eh?
Cat
Is this
noise.
it sounds like a.
It's always sunny.
Oh, that's right. That's right. It almost
Try
sounded like
kitten mittens.
it almost sounded like Rick and Morty, like the
Oh.
intergalactic
Our
TV.
Charlie Day voice is a little bit like Rick and Morty.
Hi, I'm I forget his name.
Ants in My Eyes Johnson?
Yeah. Hi, I'm Ant in My Eyes Johnson, and we got things on sale. Try this oven. It's only $2.99. I'm guessing. I don't know. I can't really tell. I got ants in my eyes.
My favorite part of that though is he goes, check out this microwave, only $2.99, and he's pointing at like an oven or something.
And then he catches on fire.
Because he can't feel anything.
I don't have any pain receptors. I'm Ants in the Eyes Johnson.
Am I sitting? Am I standing? I don't know. I can't tell.
The moral of this story is watch Rick and Morty.
Well, I got her with a Plumbus reference, and she didn't get it. And I'm like, it's interdimensional cable.
It is.
So we need to go back and watch
I'm
it.
sorry. I've only seen every episode at least once. So
Well, I always wondered how a Plumbus was made.
Season 3 is on Hulu now, too.
yeah, it's all really good. I would recommend.
I've got like tons of them still on my DVR.
Is that going to be in Tips and Bits, Rick and Morty?
Yeah, we'll go ahead and put that out there right now.
Oh, good. I already have my tips and bits.
Well, it's too late. We just said it. So now you got to come up with a different tips or bits.
You will cut that out. You will edit that out.
I leave all threats in my podcast so that if something happens to me, people know why.
I'm not going to lie. Through all of your impressions, I've been drinking this Wilderness Trail.
Wow.
Ooh.
And I have to say, I'm very impressed. I think, and brace yourselves, they made this. This is
yes,
not
they
sourced.
did. This is their distillate.
This is the best non-sourced. What are you laughing at?
We both said their distillate at the same
distillate at the exact same
I was
time.
like, what are you guys
stereo.
grinning about?
It's going to make for some great audio, though.
I think that this is the best new
first run
that I have had.
I have to completely agree with you.
This smells like a pizza crust. Think about a wood oven. Walking in.
Chad!
Right.
He's on point today.
Guys, I'm
Tasting Notes with Chad. Okay, there's your new
point.
It's Bourbon Night series.
Tasting Notes with Chad. Oh, he's like in a leather chair in a room smoking a pipe
like
with
we were
a
going to do with the Scotch one.
Yeah,
but
he's swirling something. He just swirls it by a fireplace, sniffs it, says it's short. It's like less than 30 seconds. He just tells you how it smells,
and then it
that's
dissolves
it.
to fireplace.
Dissolves to fireplace, and that's it. You guys, I think we should make this.
It can be as off the wall as you want, though.
Yeah.
Like it can be just anything. It could be a comedy series.
But I mean, that's honestly, I was like, okay, this is reminding me of something.
Yeah.
What is it?
No, I totally
And then
get that.
boom, a pizza crust.
It smells like
From
but
a
like
wood
the
oven.
flour to like it just the feeling, and I just felt it when you said that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh my gosh,
Hey,
you're
here's a
getting
kitten.
so good.
It makes me happy, guys.
We got our own little bourbon sommelier up here at my
Dang,
house.
and I thought it was gonna be me.
Trust me, so did I.
He beat me, you guys. Can't let this happen. I gotta step up my game, start smelling more stuff.
Professional candle sniffer.
I just come in places, I
Give me
just
a
start
smell.
smelling things. People are like, "Man, what are you doing?" I'm training. Leave me alone.
Give me a smell. Give me a smell. Any smell.
Any smell.
Sir, do you have a smell? Give me a smell.
Grandma's shoe.
Chicken salad. Grandma.
Those things look very different.
Thanks, Joey.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Oh, he does it with a sexy
Yeah,
voice. He can
yeah.
make
Yeah,
anything
you can
sound,
make anything sound
Sound
sexy.
sound like an innuendo.
I think this is the second time that we've brought that up on this podcast
We're bringing
with
it
you.
back. Yeah.
What do you think about it, though, Chad?
I think it tastes surprisingly good. I'm impressed.
I am very impressed.
It gives me a lot of hope for where they're going to go as a distillery in
Me
the future.
too.
Like, I do think that my only problem with it is it tastes corny.
It's very earthy.
Yeah. It has a little bit of youth to it.
It does.
It has.
But it's
I was just gonna say it has a char taste to it.
It does.
An earth taste, but not a grass taste.
So that's what I was gonna say. It's not off-putting like
Yeah.
a grassy young taste.
For sure.
it's just
Which is what I'm so used to with these new distilleries popping up is like, oh, I could see the potential, but I really can't get past this grassy, youthful taste. And with this, I don't get that at all. Like, not even a little bit.
No.
a burnt wheat pizza crust.
I'm totally in agreement with
It's
that.
not a complete burnt pizza crust, but it's a burnt like more.
Oh, I'm not
wheat.
shaking my head that
It's,
that you're wrong. I'm shaking my head that you keep saying wheat.
like
I
Mad.
honestly don't think I can say it the
no.
other way now.
Not Mad
by
Mushroom.
now.
Smashing Tomato.
Ooh,
Like smashing
yeah,
tomato.
or like crust.
Or like crust.
Crust.
Yes.
Well, same
Yeah.
company.
Yes, same company. If you're not from Lexington, then sorry.
Crust is the name of a restaurant.
With
Yes, it's not.
They do,
It's
like,
not just a part of a pizza.
artisanal, whatever, brick oven pizzas.
Yes.
Say mew.
Mew.
Say hello, buddy.
Meow.
He's not.
I got it. I got it.
The views just went up. You're like, kittens?
The world's
This has been your-
smallest kitten meow.
This has been your kitten minute.
Can that be the opening?
It's between that
Just
and
the one-
Girls
This is
Swim.
my bourbon kitten minute. Mew.
Oh my gosh. You know what? I really like this, and we have
I
a bottle
do
of this.
too.
Now, what was the cost on this? Do you recall?
$50.
Okay.
I'm
you bel-
okay with this.
I'm okay with this for their first
I'm
release.
okay, BB.
Because a lot of places are doing younger releases for more money,
Right.
and that's why I'm okay with this.
Yeah, and it's 4 years old.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. For $50 for a 4-year-old of their first run of bourbon, and it's
Yeah.
good.
They did it right, and this is what I
Good
hope.
for them.
This is the same thing that I hope we can sit down and do
I'm
with
gonna
Castle
say
and Key. Yeah,
That's what I was trying
Me
to say,
too.
but you bastards kept talking. I feel like this is where Castle and Key is going as well.
I really hope so, because I really like Marianne Barnes, Eves, whatever. Marianne Barnes.
Marianne Eves parentheses Barnes.
Yeah, she's super cool. And
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't know. I would really just like to see them do the same thing, because I want to love it this much.
I think that they
Well,
will
they're gonna.
too.
Based
Yeah,
on the quality of like their gin.
They're definitely going to.
Oh, the gin's so good.
I don't even like gin, and I was like, damn, girl, this gin
You know
is
what's
good.
you know what's funny though
girl.
is Lucy, who is a gin drinker, did not like it. And the reason that I think is
She's not a bourbon drinker.
She's not a bourbon drinker.
Yeah.
Because it's
Yeah,
the bourbon drinker's
it's a bourbon
gin.
drinker's gin.
I completely agree.
Got them
I
junipers in there.
hate gin.
Have you ever had
Except for-
Hendrix?
I just dislike. I mean, I've had several gins that.
Oh, I need to get you to try the Southern Belle.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now I'm
Let's
trying
do
to
that.
think.
Let's do that next.
Now
Okay.
I'm trying to think what alcohol
Let's mix it up.
do I like the least?
I would have said gin.
I'd probably
Vodka.
say vodka.
Vodka.
Really?
Vodka.
Do not like
Okay,
vodka.
are we talking about drinking it
I
straight,
started
or are we
thinking
talking
that-
about in general?
Yeah, straight.
Straight?
Yeah. It just doesn't have any taste.
And we're not talking like.
Gin has taste.
We're not talking.
Gin has-
Tequila has
Yes.
taste, especially the gold.
Tequila, yes, I like.
the barrel aged tequila.
Gin.
Vodka. What's
Rum?
What's?
Oh yeah,
rum.
okay with
Rum's
it.
pretty
I could be
good.
okay with some rum.
I like rum quite a bit. Yeah. Okay. Here's what I'm going to posit. Let's talk about this now. This is going to be our topic.
We're not
for
really
this.
having a topic.
No, but let's make this kind of our topic.
Okay.
Now, why do we prefer bourbon over other alcohols,
Well,
other spirits?
I like bourbon over vodka because vodka makes me very mean. Chad can attest to this. I have one Moscow Mule, and I'm like, "What's your problem? Do
Do you want to fight? I think we should fight. We're gonna fight.
you want to
now.
get in a fight?"
You know, like Marshall when he's on How I Met Your Mother when he gets
Yeah.
really drunk and he wants to fight with his reflection.
Yeah.
That's what I'm imagining
But
with
yeah,
you.
it's pretty much like
Stop
that.
shaking your
And the
head,
thing
Jen.
I don't know
about
that
it-
reference.
The thing he doesn't watch it.
Terrible show.
The thing about
wrong.
vodka and me is I can drink it so fast, especially in a cocktail. I used to shoot it in college before I found bourbon, and it was not a pleasant experience for me or anyone else because I would just be like having a great time and then all of a sudden super pissed and then pass
Yeah.
out.
I think I like bourbon because there's so many variants of it. You know, you can have younger bourbon, you can have weeded bourbon, rye bourbon, old extra aged bourbon, and the maturation is what affects it so much. And that's just stuff that you're not getting when you're doing vodka or gin.
It's
you
true.
know?
And I think, like, the thing that's so great about bourbon is that it's very romantic in a way. It's like,
Oh, yeah, it's got the
this
story, it's
thing
got the
that
history.
It's got a recipe that's
Yeah.
carefully, created by this
yeah.
person who loves it very much.
The yeast
And then-
strain is
yeah,
very
the yeast strain is
proprietary.
proprietary, and it's got a lot of, it's just, shrouded in secrecy and this like high level of commitment to quality. And then you've got the age process that that someone cared for it and took care of it for that long just to get it to you. And something about that just feels so
It takes
genuine.
yeah, it takes time and discipline.
Right. And
To what the
if this is wine.
oh okay.
Chad,
Why
welcome to wine.
It's not bourbon.
why not? And everyone rum, tequila, I don't know about gin, but everyone wants use bourbon barrels.
It's true because
So
it has
they can
the
make
flavor
their
to
product
impart.
taste better.
But
beer,
bourbon has
Tabasco,
the best story.
Yeah, they want bourbon's influence on their product because they know they're going to make it better and more valuable. So why not bourbon?
But can you think of an alcohol with a better story than whiskey in general?
No.
Not just bourbon. I mean, and that's what people want, really. They just want stories. And that's what each one of these things has that vodka can only hope to make up. You know, oh, we flavored it with this and we distilled it 18 times or whatever.
Or 870, whatever that clicks.
Yeah.
is.
I mean,
right, yeah.
but still,
CLIX, it's the Roman numerals added up is how many times they've distilled it. So whatever C...
218?
LIX.
Or no.
I don't know.
C is 100, right?
If we get stuck in this, we're going to be talking about Roman
C's
numerals.
100. So 150 plus
100.
1 plus 10.
159.
161?
Oh.
150 plus 1 is 151 plus 10 is 161.
That's what I said.
But IX is 9. So it should be 159.
If you read it that way. If you read them as separate numbers. I don't know. Anyway.
It doesn't matter.
It's distilled a hell of a lot of times. For what reason?
But that's such an on the surface
So you can charge $300.
story. Anyways.
So what I just poured, this is funny. We've not actually ever had wine. My wife has had wine on this podcast before, but I have not had wine, and nor have any of my, typical guests. But I wanted to pour this for Chad and Sarah because this is Southern Belle wine. This is aged in Pappy barrels.
Which is such a gimmick. I mean, aging
No, I totally agree with you.
Aging in a bourbon barrel, but the fact that it's Pappy barrels...
I mean,
are you going to taste
maybe
the
it's
difference?
a gimmick, but how many people have bought it?
Oh, no. I'm not saying it's not genius.
And
What's
it's
a bottle
cheap.
sell for?
$20.
You know what?
$20?
It's $20.
20 doll hairs?
20 doll hairs? I have a lot of doll hairs.
Not Janie.
This smells really good.
It really
I'm not
does,
gonna lie.
doesn't it?
If you turn me on to this $20 wine, I'm going to be pissed because I really do. If I'm not drinking bourbon, which is most of the time I am drinking bourbon. So every now and then with a nice dinner or on a Tuesday night, I like a glass of wine.
Is this readily available?
I haven't found it
rare.
everywhere.
Okay.
But Liquor Barn on Richmond Road has some bottles still left.
Really?
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
I don't dislike it. I
I
would
like
drink
it.
that, absolutely.
Mhm.
I really like that. I am still a committed 19 Crimes Red Blend fan.
It's a little dry.
Just a teeny
Chad-
tiny little bit, though.
No? Okay.
No, go ahead. I'm saying no, like it's
Chad
dry.
says that most wines are dry and that they taste like egg dye.
Ooh.
Except
egg dye.
nice sweet reds.
Like, I guess, Easter egg dye? What is it? Yeah, Easter egg
So
dye.
just food dye.
Food coloring?
Food coloring.
I don't understand.
Okay. I just, you dye eggs around Easter and you smell it and you're like, I know what that tastes like.
Okay, so here's what I'm going to do for you. I'm going to blind you with some
Wine
some
and
food
some
coloring
food coloring.
and some wine
Do
and
it.
see if you can tell the difference.
Awesome.
You'll be able to tell the difference.
this
I
is
think you
yummy.
will be. Yeah, isn't it the...
I think I'm about to go on the downhill slope on this podcast, so
We're
buckle up.
Well,
I
you know
wanted
what?
to say buckle up,
Buckle
bitches.
up. It's going to be a bumpy ride.
But I assume we only have 21
Okay.
plus viewers, so they can hear that.
Buckle up.
I'm gonna go ahead and say we're not counting this as a typical, an actual topic. I just wanted to posit that as a question. And sometime I would actually like to do a whole episode where we dive into why we prefer bourbon
Oh.
Because it's the best.
over anything
I think I
else.
already gave
But-
mine fully.
It tastes the
Well,
best.
fair enough.
It
I
is
didn't
the
have
best.
a chance. You know what?
You
I'll talk
did.
with Curtis and Tanner about it. So that's
Sorry I ruined your party.
party needs a pooper.
I'm the worst.
No, I wish it was a little sweeter.
That's what he says about me, too.
I wish you were a little sweeter. Yeah.
This isn't my favorite bourbon barrel aged wine. Have you had what's it? Staven Steel? Is that what it's
No.
called? No, I can't remember exactly what it is. The label on it's really nice.
I've had the Robert Mondavi Bourbon Barrel Aged Cab, which is pretty
love
good.
that one.
I've also had the old 502. Loved it
Not had
when I
that.
first had it, and then the more I got into wine, and especially the more I got into higher proof bourbon, when I came back to it around the holidays or whatever, I was like, this is so sweet. Old 502 Winery is a local not local, but local to Kentucky.
Louisville.
Oh,
It's a
Louisville, yeah.
Louisville
Okay.
winery.
It's
yeah.
the- it's
and they
the,
do make good stuff. I also like their box wine, but they're on the sweeter side, so I feel like maybe you would like them, Chad, but maybe not.
I think I have a bottle. I just haven't opened it.
It's true.
What's that?
You do.
What's that? Flame or Inferno?
Apothic. Inferno.
Is a
Barrel
bourbon
aged.
barrel aged, which is pretty decent.
I don't think I've had that one.
Yeah.
I really do like that Mondavi.
Yeah, I just like their
Rabbit
regular
Mondavi.
Merlot. It's really good.
Yeah, I totally
Now that
agree.
we're talking about
Guys,
wine,
is
I
this
also
a wine
like a
podcast
$50.
or what?
I also enjoy a good $50 bottle of the Prisoner from Orange Swift, right?
I've not ever spent more than I think 25. No,
I
that's
have
not true.
once.
That's not true.
He did it for me.
Oh, did he? What was it?
Or
The-
that one. The
Oh,
Prisoner.
that one. Oh, okay. I bought a bottle of Veuve for, I think it was
Yeah.
either Lucy's birthday or Valentine's
Fancy
Day or
champagne.
something.
Well,
It's
you know.
no better than
The
like
bubbly.
$15 champagne though. I'll be honest.
Yeah, it's
with you. Like,
$50 or $15 champagne with like a $100 marketing
Yeah,
budget.
yeah.
But bourbon though.
Yes.
Anyway, bourbon. Yeah,
Well, okay. I'm.
we got a little bit of wine left.
I am not combining wine and bourbon, guys. I know better.
Well, I don't have to drive anywhere.
You all crazy.
Are you saying I'm about to be hungover tomorrow?
Yeah.
Not if I eat Wendy's.
Oh, that's right. I forgot Wendy's cures
I think
hangovers.
she's accepted that fact at this point. Okay, so
Back to
do we,
what's important.
do we want to go with this Old Scout Rye? Do we want to go with the Woodford Batch Proof?
Ooh.
Because this is going to be our review. Do we want to do one more and then the review?
I think we need to do one more and
One
then
more
the
and then
review.
the review, for
And then
sure.
I think we should finish with this.
Okay, sure. So
Oh.
you want to go with
Yeah, let's do that.
with
then.
the Old Scout Rye? Okay. Well, we're definitely jumping all over the place at this point.
When
but
I
that's
said
okay.
finish with this,
That's the topic of this podcast, is jumping all over with Chad Barry.
jumping all up. When I said let's finish with this, I meant the Woodford Batch Proof.
I put you
Yeah, right, yeah.
last on your own podcast. Chad, Sarah, and Barry. Wow.
And the host.
Damn.
Okay, so would you guys like to have this in Glencairns or just our rocks glasses?
Would you like it with a fox?
I don't give
Would
a
you like it in a box? I would like it in this glass that I already have, please.
I would like
Okay,
it with
sure.
green eggs and ham.
Well, then we will do the batch proof in the...
Ooh, but I'll tell you what,
Glencairns
that
after-
Wilderness Trace, Wilderness Trace, that's what I said. Whoops. Wilderness
Whoopsie.
Trail tastes a little funky after that red wine.
Oh,
though.
I'm sure it does.
Yeah. Do you have any chocolate or
Oh,
any type
you know
of
what I was going to do?
crackers?
Cracker time.
So, Ghirardelli had their dark chocolate bourbon caramel.
Shut up.
Do you not know about this?
No.
Yeah, I have some in my fridge. But
Damn.
yeah, hold on.
We can do it later.
I feel like I need a wine cleanser. I feel like I got that wine taste in my mouth.
Are
That's
Ritz-
what this
are
Old
Ritz
Scout
okay?
will be before we get to this.
Yeah, this will take the brunt of it.
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah,
Positive.
positive.
100%.
100%.
He's
No
alright.
doubt.
I'm 100.
Oh my gosh.
60% of the time.
Every time.
Works every time.
Works every time.
If you make it to the King of Kentucky portion of this episode, bless you. You're a descent from me.
My father-in-law, Brett, who was on the episode 2 weeks before this one, in which he and our friend Josh got very drunk,
How very drunk?
Oh, very.
has this
How very drunk.
very drunk. He has this assumption that everybody just fast forwards to the last 5 or 10 minutes of this. The last 5 or 10 minutes of this show, because that's when everybody is the most drunk.
Sure. You should just play it in reverse.
You know what? We have viewers tell us all the time they like the later parts of the episode, especially the live episode, better
I get looser.
because we are looser and more fun.
So what
and
that
I'm like,
means,
well, I can't show up drunk and then keep drinking.
what that
because
means
then
is for
I'll-
30 minutes beforehand, you have to just drink heavily.
Man. You should just have a really
okay,
tall control
if that's
bourbon.
true though. Say that's true, and 30 minutes beforehand, you have several drinks so that you are ready to go when it starts. How many bourbons are you about to review on your show, and what are you like at the end?
Yeah,
Can you
exactly.
even remember what you're supposed to be doing? No, you're like, I thought, man, we have this agenda, but I'm not going to follow it.
Give them something to look forward to. It's like, stick around. It'll be worth it. We're going to get a lot more fun.
I told them on the Halloween episodes I can commit to being that way.
That's true.
And that's the only episode I'll commit to you per year. Ooh, judgmental.
You know
face.
Perry's got the face.
Okay. So previously, I have really liked the nose on this Old Scout rye pick, but
I'm honestly not getting anything.
Horsehair.
Chad,
you're a liar.
Wet dog? Oh, okay, that I get. I couldn't connect with the horsehair
Well,
with the wet dog.
how many times have you smelled horsehair, and how many times have you smelled a wet dog?
Probably more times with a wet dog than horsehair.
Quantify how many times you've smelled horsehair.
I've been on some jobs where we've been filming horses.
in the dewy time of the morning.
In a dewy time.
And the
of
hair
morning.
has just gently brushed your face, and it's gotten in your nostrils.
I've been like, hey, how are you?
I wish you guys could have seen the
And
crazy
that
face.
cartoon, like your body stays the same size, but your head grows like 8 times.
I think I
as
just
big.
sucked in like a vacuum's worth of cat hair into my lungs.
Sorry.
That's how I'm getting these on the nose, nosing, because I'm really smelling deeply wherever I go, even horse stalls.
I have to say, this is probably my favorite nose on an Old Scout product that I've had so far.
I have to agree.
Chad's face disagrees.
I have to agree with you.
But I have to tell you, I don't like their brand. I
could
want to
say something that just popped into my mind, but it would not be
Kosher.
It would not be kind.
Why don't you go ahead and say it?
Are you ready to hit rock bottom on what is said on your podcast?
Go for it.
I'm gonna let you make that choice. It's your world.
Look, again, we haven't actually recorded. Okay, you know what? Now that I've really thought about where this is gonna go,
Nope, I'm gonna do it.
No, I'm gonna place. Okay, here's what's gonna happen. You're
put
gonna
an
say it.
embargo
I'm
on
gonna
it.
put in some filler music in the meantime.
It might not be as bad as you think.
Okay.
It smells like still farts.
Oh well, that's not bad at all.
Chad,
What the heck?
you made it sound like you were gonna.
You're gonna.
I've never used that as a nosing note before.
Oh my gosh! I just got it.
See? And he wins again.
You guys, I don't get that at all.
Take a nice deep
Do
breath.
the mouth open in the glass.
Okay, maybe a little. Mouth open in the
glass.
face in the glass. This is a rocks glass. Then I can kind of see where you're coming from.
One that's been lingering.
But the way, okay,
gosh.
You
but
sit
the
in
way
someone's chair that's just been drilled for the past 20 minutes, and it kind of puffs up from the stuff, and you're like, "Whoa,
this is not
what
a
am I
ladies'
doing?"
conversation.
I know that's why
Sips
I was.
wine.
That's why I was. You know, that's why I was more reserved on it.
Who are you?
The best damn noser ever.
Oh my gosh.
Look, it's fine until you get
Really-
ankles deep into it.
Oh wow,
Ankles.
that just brings up imagery.
Yeah, I mean, if you nose it like a normal person, I don't get that.
No, I like it normally.
Like, in the normal way, mouth closed, nose not completely in the glass, I don't get this at all. But in the way where this is a rock glass and I open my mouth and stick my face pretty much in the glass, then I kind of can see where you're coming from.
But just normal smelling, I get like
That's
burnt.
kind of funny, though.
Normal smelling, though, I get like burnt marshmallow.
Yeah.
See, every freaking time.
But I love burnt marshmallows because there's something so, like, repulsive about them, but also delicious.
Burnt marshmallow when it's coming out of someone's ass.
Someone's bitter.
Anyway. Ooh, but it tastes good. It doesn't taste bad. It's not bad.
And
The front end is unbelievably minty for me. Like super minty.
I
It's
think
after dinner mint, yeah.
I gotta comment, or I gotta have another taste before I comment.
Yeah.
It's almost too minty.
Yeah, I agree.
It's mint julepy minty.
It almost is like I don't want to have another drink of it minty.
Yeah.
Oh, he doesn't want it.
That's super mint.
Second sip is better though. I will say.
Mint and Christmas spices.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a little bit reminiscent of that.
Midwinter's Night Dram.
Thank you. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. I mean,
Okay.
not,
Isn't it weird that I knew
not
exactly
as,
what he was talking about while he was
Yeah.
snapping and pointing at me?
Well,
not as turned up, but
It's not as turned as that one, but
Yeah, definitely in that wheelhouse.
Well, that's the same distillery, right? Aren't they both Smooth Ambler? Smooth.
Yes.
Smith Ambler?
No.
Smooth.
No,
I think
the
Smooth
other one's
is-
High West.
High West.
And you know what's funny is
that's
that
right.
on
People
last
get- yeah.
episode, I caught you guys saying that you both love the Boo Rye when we were talking about the big level, and I'm like, you're talking about High West and Smooth Ambler.
That's two completely different things.
Two
Yippee-
different
oh,
coasts.
oh, you know what it was? Is also we
Yippee-ki-yay.
were talking about Yippee-ki-yay. That's also that one.
That's
High
also
West.
High West,
High West,
not
yes.
Smooth Ambler.
Yeah.
They do come in very similar bottle shapes,
Huh.
so
They
I
do.
understand.
They do, and they're both not two of the bigger non-Kentucky ones out there.
And two
Yeah.
of the ones I haven't been super impressed with.
Booyah!
So it's easy to get them
Boo-rah-yah.
confused.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I can understand why some people like this. I don't dislike it. I'm fine with it. It's a rye. I would drink it.
It's unique.
It's the best thing I've had from them so far.
Yeah,
And-
I definitely agree with that.
But it's not something that I would buy or go to. It's never going to be my, like, I come home from a Friday night at work or whatever, or I on the weekends, I'm going to pick up this bottle and say, you know what, I've been really wanting
I want
this.
that minty rye.
Yeah,
Well,
it's not going to be this.
I very luckily got this bottle secondhand from
tasty.
Mike Smith, who has been on the show and is part of the LBS and all that good stuff, Lexington Bourbon Society. But
For you that don't know.
for those not in the know,
For those not initiated.
I think because I brought this over to your house, Chad,
Yep.
the same day that I got it.
Yep.
And I remember that we did not like it
Nope.
at all. But it is much
opened
better.
up then.
Oh, it's
yeah,
definitely much better.
Quite a
And-
bit.
And we should say it's a pick, by the way.
It
Well,
is
see,
a pick, yeah.
That was a night of misses for me. Like, just misses in general. I think I didn't really like this bourbon. I didn't understand how to play Clue. I just had a whirlwind of a night of just not good stuff.
That was a fun night. That was a
It was
good
a
Yeah,
fun
night.
night.
fun because everyone laughed at me because I didn't know how to play Clue.
It's true.
I thought you were supposed to solve the mystery of who at the table was the murderer, not just who in the pocket of
I
the secret.
remember that.
The secret envelope was the murderer, so I was trying to get Chad. I was like, "You did it." They were like, "Sarah,
I'm not in the envelope.
this is not how the game is played."
You know what we should do is, like, you were talking about the, like,
It's okay. She's very pretty, folks.
you were talking about the Clue, like, the Clue version with bourbon. But it'd be
Yes.
really funny to do it with, like, bourbon celebrities, I guess, and have, like, your all's faces on cards, and then, like, Will and the Grease on one.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
That would be
Ooh, who do I
so
wanna be?
funny. No,
Scarlet,
you're yourself.
obviously.
You're yourself. I mean, you can be a
Oh, so like
characterization.
bourbon influencers.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I want to be Miss Peacock.
Okay, you're Miss
Well, you can
Peacock.
be yourself, but dressed up as Miss Peacock.
Okay.
Could you do that, please?
Yeah. Okay. Barry's face.
No, actually, Miss White. Miss
Chad's
White.
into older women, apparently.
No, Miss White. Miss White.
But like channeling that energy from
Wait,
the
wasn't-
first season of American Horror Story.
Wasn't Miss White the maid?
The maid.
In Clue?
No,
Ketchup.
no, no. There was no maid.
I
Yes,
thought-
there was.
Oh, that's Yvette. If we're talking about the movie, the board game didn't have.
I'm talking about the board game.
Didn't have a no.
Okay, well,
Miss
enough
White
about Clue.
Was she in the movie? She was the one who's like, I hated her. It burned on the side of my face. Flames, heaving breaths, flame. Yeah.
I think in the game, Miss White became Yvette's character, or something like that. The maid. No,
I don't think there's a maid.
There is a maid
Clue.
in the game.
All right,
I
y'all.
don't think so.
I don't think they want to hear about Clue.
All right, fine.
Probably not. But,
But they
anyway,
do.
that was a fun night. Sarah lost at Clue.
Watch the movie. The movie is amazing.
Yeah, it
Love
was a
that
fun
movie.
game of Clue, but I lost. We need to have you guys over again and do the Bourbon Run.
Yes, we
trivia
really need
game.
to do
I
the
want
Bourbon
to
Yeah.
do a
Trivia
murder
game.
mystery night.
Okay,
With
I
the
think we
four
can,
of us?
Well, we should probably get more people.
We should get more people, and it should be really in depth. But we'll talk about that later.
Like
We're
night.
really trying to get Will
yes,
in the...
like game night, like a scavenger hunt.
Yes. I've not actually seen Game Night yet. but-
It's really good.
well, I love Jason
Save it
Bateman.
for tips and bits.
All right, fine.
I love Jason Bateman, so...
Yes.
But we're trying to get Will and the Grease up here, too.
Ooh, if they
to do
come
a
up,
big...
You've been up here, and I'm like, hey, you didn't hit me up.
I'd hang out with them.
Oh, we'll make
And
it
by
all...
I'd hang out
we'll
with them.
make
I
it
mean,
all
I'd love to
happen.
hang out with
Let's make
them.
it a
That
thing.
would be a super joint This is my bourbon podcast episode.
I don't think
with
we'd be able to get words in. We would all just be talking over each other. And you know what? They want the White Castle crave cases or whatever it's called.
Oh, the suitcases full of White Castle.
I thought it's called a crave case.
Well, it probably is. I call it.
I could be wrong.
Wait,
That's
no,
what
he
they
loves
had.
Crystal.
Crystal burger.
Crystal.
Yeah.
Same thing.
It was like a
Is it
crystal.
though?
As far as I care, I don't like them.
Close, very close.
I like White Castle.
Yeah,
I'll
we
be
went
honest
to
with you.
last year. We
Gross.
went to the Southern Whiskey Society event, and they were doing the podcast there, and he was like, "Wait a minute, I got a crystal case coming up," and he like all these burgers came up. I mean, they were super nice though.
I really want to go to the Southern Whiskey Society this year.
You should. We
should.
would be there if
love
we
to.
weren't going to Austin.
You're going
like
to Texas,
if it was
yeah.
on a different weekend, we would be there.
Totally.
Yeah.
And
This
we
was a
were-
I
great time.
really
Yeah.
want to go.
It's a great time.
But we've never been to Austin.
Yeah.
We gotta go to Austin.
We go to Nashville all the time.
When you get called to the big show, you gotta go to the big show, man.
But I would love to go back there next time. I'm
Yeah,
going back to
for
the Southern
sure.
Whiskey Society.
I want to do, and again, I want to do like a big joint episode with them
Mm.
Totally. That'd be really
sometime. But I think it would just be the most like insane crossover of.
fun. When worlds collide.
I have to ask a question. Are we ready for the King of Kentucky?
Let's do it.
I think we're ready.
Ready to Glen
I think
Cairn
it's
it up?
time.
It's time.
It's Glencairn time, ladies and gentlemen.
Hmm.
This has been the most like not paying attention to the audience episode I think I've ever done.
Wow, so
to-
you actually have you actually bought Glen Cairns. They're not like free ones that you got at places because there's no logos on these.
no, they were Christmas gifts.
Oh, that's nice.
Okay, so you
Yeah.
didn't pay for them.
Yeah, but these though I paid for.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Right?
I don't know.
Yes, I paid for those.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think.
Cool.
I don't remember. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the King of Kentucky.
Let's do it.
Well,
I'm about ready
would
to
you like to know the
unsheath it.
history of the King of Kentucky?
Because she knows it.
Let me pull it. Oh, you know it.
I know it.
Okay,
So
ladies and gentlemen, Sarah Aldrin.
So, in 1936, the brand was purchased by Brown Forman. It actually dates back to 1881, and it was discontinued in 1968. It is the same mash bill as early times, which is 71, 11, 10.
79, 11.
Apologies, 79, 11, 10. I got the
So
ones
a
in
very
there.
high corn recipe.
Yeah, a really
then.
high corn recipe.
Interesting.
11% rye, 10% malted barley.
Interesting.
What else? It was featured in It's a Wonderful Life, the movie.
Did not know
But
that.
not the same version of this.
Well,
So
of
this
course.
is a barrel proof, single barrel, 14 years old. That was definitely not.
Yeah. It spent its first 7 years in a temperature cycled warehouse.
Heat cycled, yeah.
Heat cycled. And then at that 7-year mark, they were concerned about how much evaporation was happening. So they put it in the first floor of a non-heat cycled warehouse for its last 7 years. They still only got 30%
Yeah.
of
So
it from
That's
16 barrels
unbelievable
to
to me.
make
960 bottles.
960.
So yeah, after
bottles.
14 years and you've got 30% left of each of your 16 barrels and you can only make 960 bottles.
And
like,
here's one
do
of
you
them.
call that a win? I don't know.
Here
Like,
is one of the 900.
Oh, it's such a pretty bottle.
and
isn't it pretty?
something.
I like how the label kind of reminds me of like a stamp.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do too.
It's nice, that like rigid edge.
Hello.
Okay, so there's fireworks or a cannon
I
firing
think it's
in the
probably
background.
fireworks.
Dexter's least favorite time of the year, 4th
Yeah.
of July.
Oh, yeah.
I gotta get him a thunder shirt. So this is, for those interested, this is barrel number 6. It came from Rick 40 of Warehouse K, floor number 1, and it was barreled on May 23rd, 2003, when Perry was born, basically.
I
I
was
was
in-
10 years old.
I was in 8th grade.
okay.
Wait, May what?
23rd, 2003.
Yeah, I was 9. I was not yet 10.
Oh, I would have
Cool.
just actually. I wasn't in 8th grade. I would have just left 7th grade.
Awesome!
Chad, where were you?
Doesn't matter.
I know where Chad was.
Chad was drinking bourbon. That's where Chad was.
Oh,
Well,
Sorry.
hey, let's drink some bourbon then. if
Ooh,
that's okay.
Perry's like,
Hey,
but open that up.
Let's
do
drink
you
more bourbon.
do you want to use?
No, we don't want to use Jiggers, Perry.
Shut down.
I knew what you were
No,
asking.
because
It's okay.
and the reason is because this was not cheap.
Well, you know, you're the one who bought it.
For
Yes,
you.
we have to thank Perry.
I was your
for-
surrogate.
Both of us were stuck at our day jobs, wanted to get out to this like line, that was a wristband thing, that was a
And Perry's
raffle.
unemployed.
Perry kindly was able to go and do that.
Somehow-
and he was lucky.
Actually, I wanted to ask you about this.
Okay, yeah, let me talk about this too.
Please.
So, I don't tend to believe in luck, but I did kind of look at my numbers and go, none of these, like, these are none of my lucky numbers. Like, there was no, like, lining up with it, and I think I was, what was I? It doesn't even matter.
You
but
were like 25th in line or something?
I was.
Not that that mattered when it's a raffle.
No. I'm talking about like my wristband number.
Okay.
25 actually is a lucky number for me now that I think about it. So that might have worked out. Anyway, so I was in the middle of saying, and I was third to last. To be called.
So you at that point had been given up.
I had completely given up. And I was starting to say to the people who were around me, and luckily I got to hang out with people from one of the bourbon groups that I'm in on Facebook.
Well, how many bottles were there? Because I heard they only got 2 cases total.
No, they got 3 or 4.
Okay.
At least.
Just at that one
I
location?
heard there were like 20-something bottles.
Yeah, there were probably 21 bottles.
So it was probably a 3-bottle a case.
Yeah.
Okay.
With the tubes, I'd say probably.
Yeah, so I hit it probably bottle number 18 or 19.
Wow.
But I was in the middle of saying to the guys that I was with, you know what the worst thing in the world is? It's not, numbers around you being called, but the people around you being called. And like as the word people came out of my mouth, my number got called.
Oh.
And one of the guys
so
I was
screamed like a girl at a Backstreet Boys concert.
And one of the guys that I was with goes, "Hey, that's your number." And I was like, "Oh, it's my number."
Screw you guys. Peace, I'm out.
And
Remember
he goes,
what I was just saying? Forget it.
I felt like a dick. But like as I was coming back, he was like, "So I expect to see you chugging this tonight on." And I was like, "You are wrong, sir."
But here you are. One day later, it's open.
It's open.
Yeah, Chad texted me at what, like 11 or 12 o'clock that day, and you're like, "Hey, can you go do this for me?" And I was like, "Yeah, okay."
The joys of not having a job.
That was super nice of you.
It was great being unemployed.
Yeah.
I mean, I had to drive in from Richmond, but honestly, it was no big deal. I was happy to do it. And
how many people do
Thank
you estimate were in line by the time they started calling numbers?
Honestly, probably about 100.
Wow.
And they had a 250 person
Cap.
limit.
That's why I was like, man, I wish I could get over there in time because I didn't think on a Thursday before 6 o'clock there would be that many people there.
But that was so nice that they did that, though. We didn't have to
1 in 5 chance.
Wake up
just about,
at 2 o'clock in the morning just to go get in line on a Saturday.
Yeah, and I like now that they have started to do this raffle style because I feel like there's a much better chance for us to.
Well, and it's fair to the people who actually, no offense to the people who are able to stand in line for 12 hours, but it's a fair chance to people who actually have things going on.
Yeah.
Like, we can show up 30 minutes before the raffle wristbands close and still get a chance. I understand putting in your time, but when a lot of people putting in that time are flippers who I've already seen are turning around and selling this for $800 on the secondary, I don't feel for you for standing in line for that long.
Right.
Sorry. I think that this makes it better for everybody else. It's even. It's fair.
I want to see you guys do a YouTube video of like the 5 or 10 people that you see in a bourbon release line.
Actually, I
Like
that's funny
the personalities
that's funny
of?
Yeah, exactly.
You should say that because I've been thinking about doing an episode about the different type of bourbon drinkers, not necessarily ones in line, but just bourbon drinkers in general. And I think there are, certain types that we could identify.
Do we need to find them and interview them,
video.
or do we need to do the impressions of them?
Because some of them are gonna
we're making
not
vague
like
generalizations.
being called
What they are being
what
called.
they are being called.
AKA flippers.
Yeah, exactly.
Collect. We'll get into it. We'll table this and take it offline. But
Okay.
I definitely want to do an episode like the
Professional speak first. Stop talking.
The type of bourbon drinkers that there are.
Right. Right.
And I
yeah.
fall in a couple of categories.
Sure.
But
But I just think it would be funny to do with one of those like viral videos of like the top 10 gamers that you
the
meet
top
at
5
conventions.
people you meet in a line for bourbon or whatever.
Exactly.
Or 5 people. Yeah.
It's gotta feel pretty cool to be sitting here at this table
It's a blog.
drinking from a bottle, one bottle of 960 bottles in the world.
Yeah.
In the world.
And I don't think I've ever had anything this limited before.
Do you think you've had anything this limited?
Well, we had the only thing I can think of is we had Jefferson's Journey.
That's exactly what I was about to say.
Straight
The
from the
only
barrel.
thing I've been able to taste that's even close to a this limited,
Because that is 2 barrels.
It's 2 barrels, yeah.
And
it might not even ever
we
be.
had a proof that was never released.
And it will never be released.
That's pretty special.
That was probably the most special thing we've ever, and that was like a fluke. Like we were in the right place at the right time with the right people, kind of thing. But this is next to that.
Yeah.
That actually became
that
bottles
you could actually buy
and sent to market. Yeah, this is
this.
probably the most limited that we've had.
So.
And again, like at some point you start getting into the it's not going to happen phase.
Oh, totally.
You know, I mean, like I was definitely going, this is never going to hit. Like I'm going to be looking at people trying to flip it for 3 times as much.
When I first read the article about this several months ago and I sent it to Chad, in my mind I was thinking like, how cool is this? Too bad I'll never get a bottle.
Yep.
And someone had commented when I shared the article on our Facebook page, and I was like, how cool is this? And they were like, oh, you guys will, since it's Kentucky only, you'll have to get a bottle and let us know. And I was like, yeah, okay. Like, we're going to get a bottle. But, amazingly, we did, and that's thanks to you.
One of the joys of living in Kentucky.
Yeah, I mean, I was happy to do it, too. I mean, hopefully I get hired, though, and I can go to a day job. I mean, but unfortunately, that would also mean less bourbon releases.
Yeah.
But that being said...
It says on here, carefully hand-selected from our most rare whiskey barrels.
Okay. I mean, I'd have to say that they are your most rare. They've got to be the most, like, the people who are in charge of the money are like, what the hell is going on here? We've had these barrels.
Buttload for this.
We've had these barrels for 14 years. 30% of them is left. You can only make 960 bottles, and you want to do what with them? You want to make them barrel proof. You don't even want to cut them with water to make it more profitable. You want to make them barrel proof.
Yeah, this is 128.6 proof, guys. 128.6.
Okay, so I've let this sit for a little bit. I will say, I really like the nose.
There you go. There you go.
This is a great nose.
All right.
There is, I will say though, there is just a hair bit too much heat for me.
There's some heat on there, right?
Yeah.
We were saying we get a lot of spices, a lot of allspice on this.
Like bacon spices.
Yep.
And yeah, I totally get that. I will say too, I think that the predominant spice on it is cinnamon. I think that's what I smell more than anything. Correct. Outside of the.
Mm-hmm. I would say so too.
Yeah.
So we uncorked this literally 2 hours ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has not been open for very long.
Well, if you're saying that it's opened up already,
I think it's opened up already.
I agree.
God only knows what it's going to be like in 2 months. I mean, once it's had time to really sit.
It's got a nice.
I love the color on it.
Amber to it.
I think it's just
it's got a little redness to it.
Beautiful. Yeah, that's what I think I'm most attracted to is the redness.
So.
Never pull.
No, don't say it. Don't say it. No.
Fleshy.
No,
piercings.
I'm sad now. And I'm sad. So, to clarify what Chad just said, our review system on the show is nose, palate, finish, and price, which is a 4-tiered review system. Each category is out of 5, and then we tally it up individually for a score of out of 20.
20. And the only way Chad can remember it is to say...
Never pull fleshy piercings.
Mm-hmm.
And
good thing that bag was
we all get really, really disgusted.
I hate it.
Yeah, it's rough.
I wrote a B, not a P. We just said that.
Never bull.
The less disgusting. what do you call it? Anagram? Anagram. Is never pay full price.
But then
I like
price
that
is in
better.
the,
Price. That's fine.
I like that. It's less
As long
disgusting.
as you can remember it.
Do you need a pen?
No. I have my laptop.
Ah,
Thank you, though.
you're welcome.
Okay, first sip.
Oh, you said
Don't like it as much as I did on the palate. I'll be on, or excuse me, on the
On the
nose.
nose.
Yeah, but
You got to go back for that second sip.
It's so hot on the back end. It's so brutally hot on the back part of my tongue.
I like that word brutal.
it's pretty brutal.
I think it is really brutal, but I will say that the finish is really nice. I think once it has had time
It's long.
to, it is extremely long, and once it's had time to really kind of take over the back of your tongue and your throat, that's when it becomes more interesting.
This is what I would like to suggest. We do our normal rating. We save some. We pour some water in it. And then we do it again.
Completely agree with you. Yeah.
Cool.
I think that's a great idea.
So I've got mine for the neat so far.
Oh, I'm not there. Are you all there?
I'm getting
well,
there.
obviously you are.
Mm-hmm.
Now, are we scoring the price, too, before water?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, then let's go ahead and divulge the price.
200 and...
About $2.20,
220.
I think.
Not right. Because I gave you 212, and then I gave you 37.50. So it was like 240. Yeah, 245.
$37.50 plus $12 is over $250.
Ouch.
Hold on.
Or it is.
Wait. What did I tell you the price was?
$237.50 plus 12 would be $249.50. So yeah, about
$243.75. Okay.
You shyster.
But he's
I
still
told
in
you
line.
exactly the right number.
I'm kidding. I can't do math. You know that.
$2.29.
You know
Yeah.
I don't speak Spanish.
You know I don't speak Spanish. I'm not even mad. I'm just impressed you ate a whole wheel of
An
cheese.
entire wheel of cheese?
Poked in the refrigerator?
$229.95.
$229.95.
So
Before or after
two
tax?
before.
Okay.
After tax was $243.75.
Okay. So $229 because tax varies. So we'll say
Sure.
$229. $230 before tax. MSRP is $199.
Yeah.
That is a rough price based
Yeah.
on the score that I've given it
Okay.
everywhere else.
Correct. It is a rough price on the value. But
I
do you know
know.
what I'm about to say, right?
It's limited.
960 bottles in the entire world. It depends on what you... There's a lot of things to consider.
I know what you're saying. That, for me, kind of seems to indicate that
and
it
the 14
falls...
years that they put into it.
Oh, man.
You all
And consider what this Woodford batch proof cost that they didn't put that much into.
This Woodford batch fruit.
Look at this.
Look at it.
She was waving it around like it's...
I'm shaking it.
Calm down.
like it's a child
Good
who's
thing
been
it's not
found getting into the garden.
Carbonated
Crazy
it would
cat lady.
explode.
Yeah, you all let me know when you're ready. And we'll put
I
some
think
water in
I'm ready. Yeah, I think I'm ready on the...
Alright.
So, Chad, you suggested 10 drops of water instead of my 7
7
or
to
8.
8.
So.
I think it just having the knowledge of uncorking this before, I think it benefits from a little bit heavier pour of water.
It's so brown sugar.
Yeah, with the water.
It is
on
brown
the nose
sugar, right?
with
Such,
the water.
It's
Oh
it's
my
the Rolling Stones wrote their song about this bourbon.
I thought it was
With
about
water.
black tar heroin, but okay.
Nope. No, it was about King of Kentucky with water added.
Same,
All
same.
that's all I
Same,
get.
same.
It's the char
Brown sugar
and the
and
brown sugar.
I
and
also get some
that's
cinnamon.
it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the cinnamon stays.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. This would be, I feel like this, with the water, does not benefit from being a spring or summer bourbon. I feel like this would be a much better winter/Christmas time
Yes.
bourbon.
Yes.
At least on the nose. I haven't actually tasted it with the water yet. I just wanted to go ahead and give my thoughts on the on the nose while I was still thinking about it. man, it's good. It's different. You know, it's not bad with the water. It just almost becomes, for me, it almost becomes like one note.
Yes,
You
I
know.
agree. Swirl, swirl, swirl.
Oh,
You know they can hear that.
all the heat is gone.
I don't feel that way.
Not all heat.
There's still a lot
I
of
think
heat
your palate
there.
might be gone.
Like, there's heat still there, but it's like there's smoke, but there's no fire anymore.
Yeah.
Agree to disagree.
No, for me at least, like all of the ethanol heat hits in the mid palate once some water has been added to it. I don't know. I kind of like the palate better with a little bit of water in it,
Rate it, son.
personally.
This is tough.
It's not by much, but I will definitely say it's there. I think that it has almost decimated the finish.
Wow.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't think that it has much of a finish at all with water.
Well, do you want to start the neat portion?
I think we should. I'm a little hesitant to rate it on price with water in it.
Okay, so me too. I agree. I think that the price should remain the same between your two categories.
Oh, yeah, mine did.
Okay, that's fine.
Mine
That's
did.
fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because the thing is that you can water the original one down, which you pay the same price for, up to you or not.
Yeah.
You don't have to. You can. So I
You're
think
still
that
getting the same
You're still getting the
bourbon.
same product.
Yeah.
So I think that the price should remain the same. So who would like to go first?
I did math wrong.
Well, okay.
Oh, let's let you go first because you haven't experienced this yet.
Yeah, and I'm curious if we should go category by category or if we should
Let's
just
do it. I like that.
Okay.
Let's do that.
Because I think that this is a little bit more analytical than we've ever really been with a review on the show so far.
thinker.
So I think that we really do need to take the time and talk about why we gave it each individual score,
But not too much time because I really have to pee.
as you do with long episodes.
Yes.
Um,
And bourbon.
So I gave the nose a 3.5
Okay.
neat.
I gave it a 3 neat.
Okay. Sarah?
Neat. The nose, I gave it a 3.5.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that it's a really interesting and different nose, but it doesn't quite have what I think bourbon necessarily smells like.
And that's why I gave it a 3. It was reminiscent of the Midwinter's Night Dram.
It reminds me more of like
Okay.
a
Which isn't
spiced,
quite a bourbon. It's a whiskey.
like a holiday spiced rye.
And
Yeah.
there's still that tinge. You're right. It has completely changed since we uncorked it not but 2 hours ago.
It has
There was
opened up a lot.
Still
Yeah.
that tinge of an artificial, like synthetic, what we smell in a birthday bourbon.
Yeah.
So-
Bad
I
birthday
get that.
bourbon.
I get that.
I'm going to be
It's
honest.
another
I
Brown
got
Forman
that
product.
when we uncorked it. I do not get that anymore.
I get the tinge. That's why I just said
and
tinge.
so I'm really excited to try this in a month.
Yeah. I think it would be really, really different in
I
a
think it
month.
will
Yeah.
benefit from being open.
Yep. Completely agree with you.
Palate,
I gave it a 3.
I gave it a 1.5.
I gave it a 2.5.
Wow. So we're all kind of across the board there.
Yeah.
A little more brutal on it.
It was what I would say, like you said, brutal.
Yeah.
To me, it was too much. It was so hyper focused in this one
Yeah.
really serious area. And that, while I like barrel proofs, I like them to be balanced and a little spread out in their flavors. And I didn't feel that way with this one.
Well,
but I appreciate it.
What I said in the uncorking, I'll just echo here. It tastes like someone was baking a pie and they were very heavy-handed with the allspice.
With the spice. Yeah.
They accidentally left the
much.
cap. The cap came off.
Yeah.
When they meant to do a sprinkle, they
It was like,
accidentally just poured the whole bottle on there.
Crap! Instead of like trying to get it off, they just
They
spread
just
it
kind
around.
of spread it around.
This will
Yeah.
be okay.
It'll
At least
even
it'll
out.
taste consistent.
It'll even out.
It's okay.
And it didn't even out. It didn't.
I can see that. I just think that it is unique enough as a bourbon while still maintaining some of the typical bourbon flavors. Like there is the barrel influence in it that makes me go, oh, this is really interesting and different. And I did want to go back for another drink. Like, I didn't drink it and go, this just isn't for me. You know, it is really hot, I will say.
It is.
But it doesn't deter me from another drink. And I think that's what bumped me up from like a 2 or a 2.5 to a 3.
Okay.
Is that, and it, again, this is a very subjective scale. But I like personally, I do like a little bit of heat on barrel proof.
I do too. And you know, the first sip I had of this during our uncorking was like a punch to the chest.
Sure.
Honestly,
Was it a tongue punch?
Heat. No, it was a punch to the chest.
Bring back tongue punch.
Hashtag tongue punch forever.
The second sip that I had was much more approachable.
Mm-hmm.
It's still very hot, but I hear where you're coming from.
Sure. What about the finish there?
The finish for me was the best part.
Interesting.
Finish I gave a
also
4.
enjoyed the
I
finish.
did not.
I loved the finish.
I enjoyed the palate more than the finish.
I enjoyed the
ranked,
finish more.
Gosh, you must have given the finish like a 0.5 then.
I gave it a 2.
I gave
Wait,
it.
but you gave the palate a 1.5, right?
I'm sorry, you're right. I enjoyed the finish a little bit more than the palate.
I gave the finish a 3.5 because I liked how it tamed down and it slowly tapered off, and it is still with me right now. Like, I haven't had a sip in a couple minutes, and it's still with me, I feel like. Mm-hmm. And that's the part I think that I've enjoyed the most about. Like, I like the nose, but I think I like the finish better.
I think I do too. And that's why I... Sorry, Chad, what were you going to say?
No, go ahead.
What I was going to say, though, is that the finish is so long, and it just goes through these different cycles of this is what you initially got on the nose. This is what you got on the palate. And then there's this whole other ballpark
ball of wax
that I almost can't put my finger on.
Yeah.
As it really does start to expand. And I don't know if it's a floral note or what, but as the finish progresses, it just becomes something so incredibly different.
Yeah.
And really so enjoyable. And that's what made me more than anything want to go back for another drink.
Here's what I'm dealing with. I feel like if I hadn't experienced other bourbons that were less than stellar, I just keep getting this whisper or this shadow of those that's really coloring my ranking of this. I feel like if I hadn't had that Blanton's from the 90s that had completely oxidized and turned, I feel like if I hadn't had
that was fun.
The birthday bourbon that I really didn't like, but I have, and that's what I'm getting those little that faint quality in there is being amplified from memories of not enjoying those.
Sure.
And that might just be a personality trait of me or whatever, but it's hurting it for me.
Yeah.
I'm picking up more on the lesser qualities of it than I am the higher qualities. And I just can't get past that. So I feel like I'm definitely going to be the lowest rating on this guy.
I think that's okay, but like it's unfortunate that you are suffering from, and this is not necessarily a term, but infrequency bias.
Mm-hmm.
Where like you're basing your assumptions or your ideas off of past experiences as opposed to what is
it's like
the matter at hand.
Yeah, if you eat a really, really burnt piece of toast, and it could even be a year later, you eat a piece of toast that's slightly burnt, you remember that really, really burnt piece of toast, and that's what I'm getting, and I just can't get past it.
Well, with that metaphor though, like it makes me think of like when you have, and this is a little graphic, but when you have something that makes you throw up,
yeah,
and then you can't go back to it because
you
it made you
and
vomit.
You think about throwing up.
Yeah, and I get that.
Yeah.
From that perspective, I get that. But I would be interested to see, and there's no way of knowing this. There's 100% no way of knowing this unless we went to, Earth 31 or whatever, where Chad has never had any Brown-Forman product before.
Right.
And we said, hey, try this. What do you think of it independently of...
Like, it's really unique.
Yeah.
I haven't tasted anything like this before.
Exactly.
But now I'm
Exactly.
just remembering the things that I have tasted like this that have been bad.
But see, I just don't fall into that trap, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, I understand that it's a Brown-Forman product. I understand that we have been really divisive with Brown-Forman products, especially in recent memory.
Right. It's just the product of having a super awesome nose and palate. It's my burden to bear. To be given these superpowers.
What do they say in Spider-Man? It's my curse.
Yeah,
or my power and my
with
curse.
Great power comes great
Well,
responsibility.
no, not that. I know that line, but
Okay.
in the actual Spider-Man movie with Tobey Maguire, he goes, "It's very specific. It's like this is my curse, this is my power, or something like that." I can't remember.
It's all about Mary Jane. Watson, that is. So okay, price.
I gave it
This
a 2.
is tough.
I gave it a 2.5.
Sarah,
Okay, I also gave it a 2.5.
I gave it a 0.5.
Okay,
Wow.
hear me out. I feel that... Okay, let's put everything that went into this aside. Let's talk about what the proof is, the years, whatever, and the cost, and what you had to do to get this. Normally, I would say, 1. Because at least it's 14 years, at least it's a single barrel, and it's not awful. Let's not lie. It's not undrinkable. It's not bad. We've had birthday bourbon, Chad. That was more... I would call it undrinkable, and this is drinkable.
More objectionable. I agree.
Okay.
Completely.
Now, that aside, let's also balance that with there are less than 1,000 bottles of this in the entire world.
Maybe that's a good thing.
Okay, maybe it is. For some people, okay, maybe you feel that way, but maybe a lot of people really like this.
Well, sure, yeah. I mean, this is just my rating.
So it's not like this is a mass-produced $200 bottle that they want everyone to buy. This is something that's super limited, that was in Kentucky only.
Yeah.
They had less than 1,000 bottles of it, and it went to whoever it went to.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even Pappy is more widely distributed than that.
Yep.
And people pay that much.
Yep.
So I personally think that if you have the money to spend, and this is what you want to spend it on, and it's pretty much a collector's item, right?
Yeah, totally.
Is $200 too much to spend when it goes for $800 on the secondary? I don't think so.
Yeah.
If you're into that. Now, is
I feel
$200 expensive for bourbon? Yes.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you got to balance those two things, so I gave it a 2.5.
Okay, I feel you.
I think it's expensive for something, and again, something that could be considered a bourbon that you would come back to.
Yeah.
Not necessarily a common drinker, but I don't think that I would go back to this anytime soon. You know what I mean?
I feel you. And just to justify my 0.5,
yeah, because that was a little
Justify yourself.
I will justify myself.
justified.
So, completely acknowledging everything that Sarah just said.
I acknowledge and respect your opinions.
Thank you.
And I
I'm hearing
value
you.
the opportunity to
I'm
discuss
hearing
this
you.
with you.
I hear you.
What's that from?
The Office.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So I completely...
Oh, that was the saddest part of that show. I'm sorry.
I cried. I
I-
cried like a little baby.
I completely hear what you say, and I can respect the angle that you're coming from. For me, and I've always said this, and I've said this on your show before,
Yeah.
and I've said it on our show before, when I'm reviewing a bourbon, I have to take the age and all that stuff that gives it clout away, and I have to just completely focus on how does it
Quality
taste.
of the product. Is
How does it taste to what I
That's
took out of
fair.
my wallet? And I paid for this bourbon. And I paid $250 for this bourbon. And how does it taste to me against a $30 bourbon that I'd much rather be drinking?
And you're saying it's not worth it.
I'm saying, compared to a $30 bourbon, which I would much rather drink than this, I give it a 0.5 because of that.
I
'Cause you
totally...
could get. Go ahead.
No. I totally feel where you're coming from. 100%. Like, the person who pays $250 for this and is disappointed would feel the same as you do. I don't know why in this point in the day, on this day, I'm trying to see it from the distiller's perspective.
Yeah.
Of, I just spent 14 years on this shit. I only have 16 barrels of it, and I lost 70% of that to evaporation. I'm going to charge $200 for this barrel, and if people want to mark it up, they can.
Well, it's kind of like...
And if you want it, you'll buy it, and if you don't, you won't.
If I bought a $200,000 car and it broke down every week, I would give it a 0.5 on
Okay,
price.
okay,
Like, I
but,
keep
okay.
having to take this thing. Yeah, they spent $75,000 making this car, or $100,000 or whatever it is.
I hear you, but I think that's a bad analogy. Does this... Okay, so this is what you... The analogy you just gave is based on function. Will this not get you drunk?
That is not why I buy bourbon.
Okay. Does this...
I don't buy bourbon to get myself drunk.
But do you buy a car to go somewhere?
Yeah, and if it's not working, I'm not going anywhere.
Okay, but is there something about this bourbon that's not working?
It's not working my enjoyment.
Okay.
That's a fair point, I think. Like, if
I'm not having it. Bourbon gives me a good time.
So
I'm
it's
not
terrible.
having a good time.
So do you
price-wise?
Do you regret this purchase?
Yeah, I'm having. A little bit. Like, and I said,
and that's fair.
At what level would you find this?
FOMO for not getting the 11-year bottled and bond Old Fitzgerald.
Yeah.
So when this one came up, I was like, I want to get that so bad.
I get that.
Okay.
You know.
So I need to ask: at what price point would you find the under 1,000 bottles released in the entire world?
See, I don't put that into account.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Why?
Because
that's what
we're
it
talking
costs.
about price.
I understand, but that's
Price
what it costs.
to
Okay,
product.
so if you're going to sell the t-shirt that's on your back right now, and it costs you $30 to make this t-shirt, are you going to sell it for $35, or are you going to sell it for $50?
I mean, I get that analogy. I know that they have to
recoup
money.
their costs.
They do. But I'm talking about not from a distiller. I'm coming from a consumer.
I
This does
understand.
not taste like a $250 bourbon.
I agree with you.
Yeah. So we're just coming at it from different points.
Right.
Yeah.
So at what price point would you accept this 14-year-old limited release single barrel bottle?
For what it tastes like?
For what it tastes like and what it is. At what price
Like,
point would
if
you
I was
say, I understand?
If I was an honest distiller and I put 14 years in it and I didn't cut it down to any proof, it was barrel proof and all this and that, and I tasted it and I was like, oh no, guys, this isn't that great. It'd be like, but we still have to sell it. I'm gonna put it at $60. Mm-hmm. But I'm not coming from that distiller's point of view. I'm coming from the customer's point of view. I try this blind at a tasting bar. I'm like, I don't know, this bottle costs $30. And there's the kitty again.
To lighten things up.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not trying to say I'm on the side of them. I just understand that when you put 14 years into something and they spent 7 years with a heating.
Right. A heat fluctuated warehouse.
So I'm sure that's not cheap.
No,
and
not
then,
at all.
And then they lost the majority of it, and they're still willing. What I appreciate about this is that, well, they only had 30% of this bottle left. They're still willing to put it in the bottle at barrel proof for the consumer.
That's crazy.
Don't you think that's admirable?
Yeah. No, I totally do.
Normal people would cut that down.
I think of Buffalo Trace having 10,000 experimental barrels and them willfully acknowledging that not all experiments work. And I feel like this wasn't so much an experiment; it was a thought out endeavor. But to me, it didn't so much work.
But some people really like it, and some people are really excited to have this very limited bottle.
I'm not rating for some people. I'm rating for myself.
Sure. I understand.
I think that's fair too.
We could argue all night about this, Perry. We should move on.
No. It's okay. Like, I like this part of the conversation though, because again, it's very subjective.
Totally.
You know, like,
I also wasn't the one who paid for it.
Exactly.
So for me, I have no skin in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And all I can do is rate for Chad. I can't rate for Billy Bob, who loves it.
Right.
Poor
and
Billy
there
Bob.
are people out there who've said, I love it. It's amazing. I do appreciate what they're trying to do. I just personally, if it were my money, I'm going to buy Old Forester 1920.
Yeah, exactly. Me too.
No,
and I just
I
can't
too.
put the rose-colored glasses on for this bottle. I love it. It's sexy as hell. I love the fact that it's 14 years, that it's bottle 69 of 78. I love that it's non-chill filtered, that
nice.
it's single barrel. Nice. I love that it was in an amazing movie that I love with Jeremy Stewart. I love everything about it.
It has everything going for it except the
But it doesn't
taste.
taste that great.
Yep.
I think that's okay, though.
That's okay.
Like, I can understand why you would rate it the way that you did and go, you know,
I'd rather have T.W. Samuels.
Wow. That's a bold statement.
I mean, honestly, I enjoyed it a little bit.
Well,
better.
and I get that from the... No bourbon for you.
Little kitty.
I get that from the standpoint of... You know what? I lost what I was going to say.
That's okay. There's a kitten drinking water out of a person's glass.
That's why I got lost.
Yeah, it's okay, buddy. It's okay.
Oh,
It's
Berlioz.
okay.
He's
Okay.
thirsty. Okay.
He's first.
Okay, so
He's thirsty.
total scores on
Okay.
on the neat part of it.
The neat part, 12 out of 20. The water part,
We haven't gotten there yet.
okay, yeah.
Oh,
12 out of
We're
20.
going to go through all that again?
4, 6, 10. I gave it 13 out of 20.
Okay, 12, 13, 7 out of 20.
Oh, what, again?
Again, that's okay.
We didn't pay for it,
yeah.
so.
The funny thing about this, though, is I'm going to go back and listen to this, like, as I'm editing, and I'm going to go, oh, that's what you were trying to say at that point.
Yeah.
My water score is vastly different.
Vastly. Okay.
Well,
I'll
aside
just-
from one category.
Okay. Let's not spend as much time on the
Yeah.
water score.
Well, let's go category by category again,
Okay.
though.
Nose.
Nose for me was a 2, as opposed to the 3.5 I gave with...
I bumped mine up 0.5. I
Interesting.
gave it a 3.5. I thought the brown sugarness was more relatable than that slightly synthetic smell that I was getting out of the neat smell.
For me, the problem was that it was so one note. And it wasn't that it was an unenjoyable note. It was just so confined to the one button
Sure.
that I couldn't go, this is any better than, one sniff.
What'd you give the nose, Sarah, with water?
With what? One moment, there's a kitten standing on my... I gave it a 3.5. I gave it the same.
Okay.
It opened it up
Okay.
in ways that I appreciated, but it also made it weird in ways I didn't appreciate. So,
I just like how it dulled that oddness that I was smelling.
yeah.
What about the palate?
I liked the palate more with water than I did without.
Same.
Not by much.
By a 0.5, me too.
Exactly.
Me too. I gave it a 0.5 higher.
I gave it a 3.5. And you guys gave it
A 2.
2. And Sarah, you gave it a...
On the palate?
Yeah.
A 3.
Okay. For me, it was just the fact that it rounded out those rough heat edges.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yes.
made it a more enjoyable drink
Yeah.
in general. Is it something that I was like, oh, I want to go back for another sip? Not necessarily, but it did become more interesting and a better experience
Sure.
overall
I
for me.
agree.
Finish, though,
I thought it ruined the finish.
I thought it did too.
I kept it the same at a 2.
I took it down a point from a 3.5 to a 2.5.
I don't think
I
you did.
went from a 4 to a 1.5.
Dang. You really did not like it.
I did not like the finish at all.
I thought it didn't really
water.
change the finish. And that might have something to do with, having drank a lot in this podcast before that. But I thought it was pretty much the same.
Well, for me, it was just the fact that I went from this really broad experience with the finish where I was going, oh, there's so much going on. I'm constantly trying to, experience and figure out what's going on with the finish, to it just being, it's over.
Yeah.
Brown sugar's there, a little bit of cinnamon's there,
Right, and
that
that's
was
it.
that
Oh.
was it. Yep. And if it were anything less than that, if it were just like if it were just water flavored, or just caramel, I would be like, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, forget it.
Yeah.
But the fact that there is something unique about the finish with the brown sugar and the cinnamon is what kept it a little bit higher than a 0.5 or a 1.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I kept the price the same.
I also kept the
Well,
price the
yeah,
same.
because we
You kinda
established
have
that
to.
already.
I mean, okay, but I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, like, okay, so this is so limited and blah, 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 and it costs this much money, $250, whatever. This Woodford batch proof,
which we are about to try.
$130. I'm not as limited, I assume. Not as old, I assume. And I'm not looking at the bottle right now. 125.8 proof, so a lower proof. I can only guess a lower age. Less work.
Oh, it's definitely not 14 years.
And it's basically $100 cheaper, which $100 is a lot of money. I'm not saying it's not. I don't know. It's like...
You're speaking more to my point, I feel like.
Yes, but no. When you consider that this, which is not that hard to make, assumingly,
Right.
is only $100 cheaper than this King of Kentucky that was extremely hard for them to make.
Yeah.
Do you really feel that that price is unacceptable when there are things out there like Whistle Pig Boss Hog that are going for $500 on retail? On retail.
Well, that's just Boss Hog's fault. I can't fault Brown Foreman.
But did you dislike the whiskey?
I like the whiskey better than this whiskey.
Okay. But it's also $300 more.
Yeah.
So,
Totally.
I'm not... I'm just saying, like, there are multiple factors to consider.
Again,
As a person
all
spending money
subjective.
on bourbon, I do not want to spend $250 on a bottle of bourbon.
There's tons of different ways to look at this.
Sure. So take it whichever way you please.
I agree.
Yeah.
But I do still think that a 2.5 is, for me, about as high as I could possibly rank this on.
So your
on price.
neat score was all around 12.
Mine was 13.
7.
Okay. And our with water score was 11.5.
8.
Sorry, I'm still doing
He's mathing.
9.5.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. That was
So,
a big drop
I was
off for
high
me.
on the water.
I went up on the water.
I
I went
went
up a full point on the water.
You
I
went
went down
on
on
the
the
water.
water, but a lot of that was really because of the way that the finish got, for me, just destroyed.
Yeah. I mean, for me, like, I felt like the finish was destroyed, but the palate and the nose stayed the same, and the palate was slightly better. Yeah. So, overall, I only fluctuated in the palate. Everything else, and the finish, actually,
Yeah,
never mind.
I went up in the palate.
Up in the palate,
and
down the finish.
The nose.
I may have done math wrong, too.
Palate I went up on, but everything else I went down on. This is one of the more divisive bourbons
It's going to
we've
be.
There you
ever
go.
had.
That's the perfect way to put it.
And
Someone's going to hate me for saying what I said. Why are you siding with this?
Someone's going to hate me for what I said.
yeah.
It's just one of them things.
But I
you know?
think, too, that we have to take into account the fact that this is still a single barrel bourbon.
Right. So,
You know, I
again,
mean-
we had barrel 6, I think.
6
Yeah,
out of
barrel-
16.
Barrel 6, so barrel 15 might have been incredible.
Yeah, exactly. So it's
I mean, it
all
shouldn't
of,
be. There shouldn't be that much of a variance.
You would
but-
think that they would choose them in
Sure.
the same universe, at least.
you would think.
You would think. But who knows what they're doing? They're all willy-nilly up there, just picking whatever they want. No, I mean, I would assume they were all treated the same in the same group as they were moved from the heat cycling to the regular. So you would... But there will be variances, and I would
Yeah,
be
I
interested
mean,
to try a different barrel.
species of oak that make up the barrel staves. They're in the barrel.
Mm-hmm.
The slight variation in heat, even on the same floor.
Each barrel is a snowflake.
It really is. I mean,
They really are.
it's-
There's
it's-
never going to be
Yeah,
another
snowflake.
It's crazy.
same. They won't
Sorry.
ever be the same. So
Doesn't it make you want to try the old King of Kentucky, though?
I kind of
yeah.
do just to see how
really want to know what
I
it's
either
bet
like.
it's
great
better.
or
Oh.
oh, but it's not barrel proof.
I don't care.
Yo, he doesn't care. That's the first time I've
Wow.
ever had Chad say, "I don't care if it's
I
not
think
barrel
I
proof."
think that's the same for me.
I want to buy the proper equipment to know the proof, and I want to cut this down to 100. And
What it used to be.
in my theory, I feel like it's going to taste better at 100.
Oh, he thinks.
And that's me loving barrel-proof bourbons.
Yeah. I would be interested to find out what barrel to barrel it tastes like proof down that far.
Sure.
Because it's bound to be different.
Sure.
It's got to be different.
Well, I mean, you can look up the different reviews that people have done. And
they're
it's also very
scattershot.
divisive.
Yeah.
But they should list what barrel number they're tasting from.
Mm-hmm.
You know? You can just
You would hope so.
Yeah.
We definitely will.
Yeah.
Because we're thorough.
Coming down off of this,
We had to.
I think it's beneficial to try this Woodford batch proof. Again, for us, we've only had it the one time, I think.
I've not had it.
You haven't had it.
Period.
So let's talk about something else that's a semi-limited upscale offering from Brown
this is
Forman
the,
that is also
Master's
batch proof,
Collection?
barrel proof, whatever. Master's Collection, yes.
Again, I just get
125.8 proof.
brown sugar.
You just get brown sugar.
That's
125.8.
all I smell.
Correct.
Brown
So-
sugar and cinnamon.
About three...
Little different mash bill.
little less than 3 proof points lower than the King of Kentucky.
Not a huge difference in mash bill.
But
this
a
is
big difference in price.
This is the Woodford mash bill as opposed to the early times.
Correct.
Guess what Glencairn I'm drinking out
Oh,
of?
Perry just
Hey.
happens to have the
I got
Woodford.
really lucky.
I still get, a ton of brown sugar.
And that, I mean, really, again, that's just kind of it for me. But
It is very one-note brown sugar.
Yeah.
It's a more enjoyable burn, I'll say that.
Yeah, it doesn't tongue punch you.
It's more of that what I'm used to in a barrel proof.
Did you start saying tongue punch after our Old Forester Statesman review?
I don't know.
I think you did. I'm pretty
The
sure
fans will tell
that
us.
you couldn't find the words for it when we did the Statesman review, and then after that, you're like, it's a tongue punch.
Again, Brown Forman product.
No, I think the point I'm trying to make with this bottle is that it is semi one-note, but it's very well balanced, and there's still heat
It's
to
a good
it.
note.
There's still heat to it. It is a good note. There's still heat, but there's still a finish, not as long. It's got some things going on, and if you are disappointed that you didn't get the King of Kentucky, and you still want to spend over $100 on a bottle, then I would recommend this.
I think that's a fair assertion. Assertion? Assertion?
Assertion. Now, I will say this. I kind of average out the price of the King of Kentucky with that batch proof because that was sent to us from a very gracious fan.
That's and I think that's
And I mean,
that's
oh
fair
my
too,
gosh,
but-
yeah. What a nice person.
Yeah, but I think that if we're just talking about price, I think that this overall is way more worth the money.
I would agree.
But we
Which
also
is not
agree.
anything I thought I would ever say about a Woodford
Okay.
product. And we can
Right?
compare it to the cherry smoked barley if you
Oh,
wanted
no,
to.
No.
Because
I
I do
never
have
want
a
to
sample
taste
of it.
that again. No,
necessary.
thank you.
Well, I mean, it's available.
So things we said about this Woodford batch proof when we first had it were the liquid, delicious, $130?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
No.
I would agree that this is a tops $80 liquid.
Oh, I thought you were meaning what it actually costs you.
No,
at-
it
at
costs
retail.
$130
Right.
generally. This was generously donated. My bad. The liquid inside worth $80 to $85, I'd say. It's delicious. It's great. The bottle, I think, is what puts it at $130.
I agree. It's the same thing with the old Fitz decanter.
It is a sexy bottle.
Yeah,
But
totally.
I don't really care about that. I want what's in there.
I agree.
And I personally prefer what's in there to the King of Kentucky.
I think I have to agree with you.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Thank you. So, if you're butthurt that you didn't get a bottle of King of Kentucky, look for a bottle of Woodford Batch Proof because while not as limited, it's pretty tasty. It's better better tasting than the King of Kentucky. Not as cool as the bottle, but it's all about what matters to you.
Yeah. No, I completely agree with you. I think that the Woodford Batch Proof seems to be a little bit more just overall consistent.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know, I think it's just more enjoyable all the way through. Whereas the King of Kentucky, right off the bat, no water. It's so abrasive.
Abrasive is a great word for
Brutal and abrasive. It
Brutally abrasive.
It does have good flavors to it.
There are things in there, but you gotta like dig for
You
them.
do, exactly.
Yes.
That's what I was going to
Yeah,
say.
you
You have to search for
If
it.
I were paying that much money for that bottle, I don't want to dig for
It
it.
shouldn't
I want
be
it to
that.
just be amazing.
Now, and this is going to be an interesting comment based on what we've said before about the Pappy craze. Would you rather spend $200 on a bottle of Papple?
Apple.
I'm sorry, what's Papple?
of Pappy 20 or 23? Or
Well,
spend $250 on this? And we're just talking
At this point,
market value.
I'm going to have to say Pappy.
I would also
I think
say
so
that
too.
because I don't have that, and he doesn't have that,
Right.
and we do have this. So
Yeah.
at that rate, yes. Now people argue, well, the proof, and blah blah blah. I'm like, well, okay, fair enough.
Proof
But
is great when it works.
we know
Exactly.
that this
Yeah.
flavor profile isn't up our alley, and I'd rather invest that money in something that might be. I've heard that the 23-year-old though just tastes like
too much
dirt.
It's
wood.
way too oaky.
Way
Yeah.
too woody,
Way
yeah.
too oaky.
So if
leathery.
we're spending that much money, I'm going for the 20-year or the 15.
You know, it's
so.
tough because we're talking about the early times mash bill. I'm like, yeah, I enjoy the bottled and bond early times, but generally that label is a bottom shelf label.
And that early times you had from the early 80s that
Well, that was good. But like nowadays.
No, I get you. I get you.
It's not coveted. You know, it's a bottom shelf bourbon. Now that's, you know, a lot of that has to do with age or the barrels that they pick from the warehouse. But I don't know. Maybe there's something to it.
I just hit something on the nose of this batch proof that was really Rick Housey. Or really like distillery.
It's like a musty brown sugar. I don't know.
It just smells like things like a bourbon barrel that's been sitting around for
If you
Times
smell an
past.
empty bourbon barrel.
I get it
Yeah.
on the finish. Like when I'm sitting here just thinking about it, I get the brown sugar fades away and I get just that like, I don't even know. It's almost like if Heritage had a taste, it would be this taste.
Yeah.
I
But it's
think
still
that's
very
fair.
cinnamon, very spice. This one I feel like has a little bit more. This one dips into the clove, where I feel like the King of Kentucky didn't dip clove at all. It's got a little bit more of that oaky, smoky.
Yeah.
Definitely smoky, actually.
No, I think so too.
Reminiscent of the Double Oak Woodford Reserve.
Yeah.
As far as smoke goes.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
for sure.
was telling Chad when we did the uncorking, I'm so depressed because I really want to love something for the price and what it is, as much as I love Old Forester 1920 from Brown Forman.
From Brown Foreman. Yeah.
I like the Woodford Batch Proof. I like the liquid. I don't like the price.
I don't either.
I wish that they would. And they say that there are reasons why they can't, and I don't know if that's true or false. That's up to them. They're the experts. I'm not. But I wish that it was this liquid in a normal Woodford bottle for a reasonable Woodford price.
Yeah.
That may never happen. The King of Kentucky is in a sexy bottle with an amazing story, and it is a
Put that on the label.
liquid.
Sarah Algram.
Liquid for a price.
Price.
Not good. We don't like it. So
This is anywhere from a broken cuckoo clock to the most high functioning cuckoo clock review, but
I mean, what
It's
do you do?
fine.
I mean, I still would recommend if you're in the Brown Forman market and you're looking for something to buy, I would still say Old Forester 1920, first of all. Maybe if you want to step up the Woodford Batch Proof, you're not going to get the King of Kentucky, so don't even worry about it. But if you did, you might like it for those allspice
I mean,
clove
if I had
cinnamon
to try
notes.
them side by side, I might recommend the Double Oak before I would the Batch Proof. I
I
don't
mean,
even
maybe.
know.
No, I think the Batch Proof is really good.
For the price difference, though.
I feel like
Is it worth double the price? More than double the price? of
we
Double
could
Oak?
debate this all night.
We could.
I feel like it's time for tips.
we
and
could.
bits.
It is definitely time for tips and bits.
Rick and Morty.
You know what's funny though is that the past 2 episodes that you guys have been
no,
on
this
Long
one's-
as
have
shit.
both broken. The longest.
It's because you
episode
let
period.
us go.
Well,
Manage us.
But
Perry.
that's okay because that's what
Me?
makes
It's
this.
my fault.
That's what makes this a great time. Is just drinking bourbon and going nuts. So,
We got lots to say, Perry.
so what are y'all's tips and bits this week?
He was like, just get it over with. Go ahead.
No, don't get it over with. Talk.
I recommend Rick
Content.
and Morty. And I already forgot the other thing that.
We said we were going to save for tips and bits.
Yeah, what was it? I
I
forgot.
don't know.
Oh well, I guess I'm just gonna say Rick and
Screaming
Morty.
in the background.
Yeah, Rick and Morty coming back with like 80 new episodes or something.
That's not true.
Like,
Thank
yeah,
goodness.
80?
70 something new episodes is what
In
Adult
what
Swim
year?
ordered.
Well, it's over
gonna
seasons.
go over several
Oh.
seasons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next year, though, right?
Yeah,
70
I think
episodes next year.
Next year is when the next season it'll be season
Begins.
4
Yes.
will be out. Yeah, so I
I
recommend
could also recommend that.
Rick and Morty.
Yeah.
I don't know what else to recommend.
I mean, I'm going to say this. I don't know if anyone said this before. I'm going to be out of line here. But I'd like to recommend the Neat documentary if no one
Oh
has
yeah,
seen
yeah,
it.
yeah.
You said a show, or you're doing a show about
We're
that, right?
yeah, we're going to be doing an episode on that sometime in the not so
I
far away
think
future. Yeah.
It's on Amazon?
It is.
I heard it's on Netflix now,
It's on Netflix.
Is it
maybe.
really? It's on Hulu.
It's on Hulu. Oh,
Yeah.
well, just check all your platforms because it's on there. Something
It's on
else.
YouTube.
It's on YouTube.
It is like in full. You don't have to pay for it on YouTube. Somebody just uploaded it.
That's
It's
ridiculous.
lame.
frustrating.
Watch the other ones. Give them money. It's for bourbon.
Yeah.
Please.
Jeez.
Just pay the $2.99 or
It
whatever
upsets me
rental fee.
so much that
Whatever-
somebody just uploaded it straight to YouTube.
Whatever-
Someone's flagged that.
rental fee that they
I'll
want for
flag
it
it.
on Hulu or Netflix or what Netflix covers it. Whatever. Just do that. Don't watch it on YouTube. Come on,
Yeah.
you guys. Just for bourbon.
Yeah, exactly.
Other than that, I can give you The Staircase on Netflix. I've been really into that.
Not seen that.
If you're Chad, you do not like murder shows about whodunit and trials and
Unless
law.
it's Clue the movie, I'm not in.
He doesn't want to know. Yeah, it's like a 13 long episode series of a trial that spanned over, I don't know, 15 years basically of whodunit kind of thing.
Right.
I really like that stuff, so that's what I would say. And if you haven't tried, let's see. Oh, I just picked up a bottle of the Basil Hayden 2x2 rye. Haven't opened it yet, but I can't say I
Yeah.
recommend it. But it's something intriguing to keep your eye on. We will
Sure.
put out an episode soon on that.
And that is a blend of 2 bourbons and 2 ryes, right?
Yeah.
That's so weird
Jason
to me.
Bateman, Game Night. That's what we were going to talk about.
Game night.
I recommend
Thank you.
Game Night.
Strongly
for my tips and
recommend.
bits.
What made you think of Jason Bateman? Is it
I
my
would-
striking resemblance to
I
his?
was honestly,
obviously.
I looked at you and I thought about how you had talked about the other podcast that you liked.
Oh, Hop-On's
What did
podcast.
you like about
Yeah.
that, Jason Bateman?
Yes.
What was Jason Bateman in that I saw recently? Game night. And then I'll let you talk about that since I've already
6
given my
degrees of separation.
tips and bits. That's how I got there.
Bacon.
That's how I got to Kevin
For
Bacon.
tips and bits, Perry, I would like to recommend Game Night. It's a movie with Jason Bateman and the girl from
Rachel
Mean
McAdams.
Girls.
Rachel McAdams.
Rachel McAdams, which is a
McAdams.
McAdams is what I said. We both agree she's very
She's pretty.
and
She's fine.
from New Girl, what's his name? Winston.
Oh, the
Nick
guy who
Miller?
plays Winston
Oh, never
from
mind.
New
no,
Girl.
not McMillan. Winston from New Girl.
If you watch, well, what's that show called?
I don't know.
Catastrophe, the wife from Catastrophe.
Yeah.
The
But-
guy from Bloodline, the dad. If you
There's
watch
actors
that,
in it.
there's some actors in it.
Well,
it's a good movie. It was better than we were expecting. It's funny.
well, it's funny because New Girl is actually on my tips and bits list,
Well, there you go.
which is unfortunate because they just ended
Right.
their series.
I was
Yeah.
into it and then I dropped off because it got kind of.
Did you? Okay, so have you seen the season finale or the series
No.
finale? It's okay.
Okay. Well. That's,
If you're a fan of
Mm-hmm.
New Girl, I feel like, and I was thinking about this as I was watching it. Objectively, like it's not a very good series finale, but subjectively, as a New Girl fan, I feel like it hits all those marks.
What that you wanted it.
Yeah, and like I love New Girl, but there was something kind of lacking for me, that made me feel like this is just kind of, it's almost lazy writing.
Yeah.
But we also watched Coco last night.
I haven't seen that yet. I want to watch that.
Oh my gosh. Okay. I cried past the credits.
Jeez.
We have to watch Coco.
It's really, really good. It has made its way into my top 5 Pixar movies of all time.
Wow. What else is in there?
Toy Story.
Toy Story. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh.
The Incredibles.
Incredibles, obviously.
Not Up. He says no.
I like Up a lot, but I can
I was
only
crying
watch...
in the first 5 minutes.
That's the thing, too, is that I can...
I'm like,
Yeah, that's ugly crying.
It's a little heartstring pulling. You know?
I do like Up a lot, but for me, the rest of the movie, I was just like, okay.
I get you. Okay.
Wall-E. I mean, Wall-E is
Wally's pretty...
He doesn't like Wall-E either?
I'm sorry.
Okay, so give me your list again. One more time.
Incredibles is in there.
Incredibles.
Of course, Coco, that's up to 4.
Toy Story.
Toy Story.
Toy Story.
That's 3.
No, I said, wait. Oh, I said
Coco.
Finding Nemo in there, too.
Finding Nemo, you didn't, but
Yeah.
okay, Finding Nemo.
4.
And you got one more left.
You know, I don't know if I have a 5th one.
So
I'm going to have to go back through. It's definitely not Cars.
Right, or
I
Planes.
do not... Which is not technically
Or
a
Cars-
sequel
or
to...
Cars
or
2.
Cars 2. Or Cars 3.
All right.
Toy Story
so
2, Toy Story 3?
You've got a top 4.
Finding Dory?
I really like Toy Story 3.
Okay.
I like Toy Story 3 better than I do
Story
Finding
2.
Dory.
Oh, okay.
And Toy Story 2,
I
for
haven't
that
seen
matter.
Finding Dory.
It's good. I just like Finding Nemo better. I don't know why.
Now, who did Wreck-It Ralph and Zootopia?
Pixar.
Wreck-It Ralph's pretty good.
Zootopia
I've
was
not
pretty
actually
good, and your
seen
boy
Wreck-It
Jason
Ralph.
Bateman was the voice.
Was he really?
Have you not seen Zootopia?
Oh no, I have seen Zootopia. Sorry.
Zootopia.
It's been a while since I've seen.
Pretty good.
Okay, actually, yes, I am going to put that in my top 5. It's
No,
unfortunate that I couldn't remember it because I really
That's
did
your
like that
dude.
movie.
Boy.
But man, that movie is so good.
So now you have Perry's top 5 list of
Yeah.
Pixar movies.
Don't at me.
Don't at me, bro. I'm wondering. See, I think I should say this for the next tips and bits, but I know I'm going to forget it, so I'll just go ahead and put it in.
That's okay. Go for it.
Hot Ones on YouTube.
Oh, he's been talking about this for
First
forever.
We Feast. Hot Ones. It's the show with hot wings and even hotter questions.
Oh my gosh, this is the 3rd time recently that somebody has brought this up to me, and I
This
have
show
not.
is great, by the way.
John Mayer was on the season finale from this past season. But yes, I know exactly what you're talking about.
It's awesome.
I'm not gonna lie. If someone asked me to be interviewed while I ate increasingly hot wings, I would be pissed.
Yeah, I wouldn't not
After
do
level
it.
number 1, I would be like, I quit. Can we just do
No,
the
thank
interview?
you.
No, we're done.
No.
Okay.
I would
Thank
not
you.
make it to 2 million
I wouldn't
Scoville.
make it to the end. So props to those people who made it to the end, because no.
I'm really hungry now.
Cara Delevingne
I'm going to get
episode is
Wendy's. As
awfully
soon as you
good.
sign off, we're going to get
I
Wendy's.
might walk over and get Wendy's.
We'll drive you and bring you back.
Yeah.
I volunteer, Chad. As
Well-
tribute.
Well, that was our tips and bits, I guess.
That's it. That's it for tips and bits.
Let's just go for another 45 minutes and make it the
No, no,
super
no.
longest
Oh my
episode
gosh.
ever.
No.
I don't really want to.
Guys, where can everybody find you on social
We
media?
can find you on
We can find you.
youtube.com/suburbanite because that's where you should be watching our show, and we'll find you there.
Or you'll find us.
We'll find you.
You can also find us on all the social media channels at It's Bourbon Night, as
Yep.
well as our Amazon influencer page, amazon.com/shop/It's Bourbon Night.
Yep.
Stuff we use on our show. We have
And
a lot of it
Patreon.
listed on there, as well as patreon.com/It's Bourbon Night. And you can become one of our inner circle or our drinking buddies, or you
Yeah.
can just keep an eye on what we're doing.
Inner
So,
Circle sounds really like...
cultish.
Oh yeah, it is.
We're gonna come up with different things.
You gotta pay to be part of the cult though.
Okay.
It's,
Sounds very Illuminati.
Oh, it is.
It's secretive.
It's Bourbonati.
okay.
So, Perry, where
That's
can we
okay.
find you?
If you would like to follow me personally, I am at PRitter1492 pretty much across the board. If you would like to follow the show, we are at My Bourbon Pod on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. If you would like to reach us via email, you can hit up this is mybourbonshop@gmail.com. Sorry. I was like, I haven't said that in a few weeks. So You can always use the hashtag My Bourbon Podcast too if you have questions for us as well. Leave us a rate and review on iTunes. We're also on Spotify now, which was a great little ad because it took like a good 3 months for us to get on Spotify.
Nice.
Also, you can become a patron of our show as well at patreon.com/mybourbonpodcast. And I think that's about it.
Sweet.
I can't think of anything else. Thank you for listening.
You can find them on MySpace at myspace.com.
Oh, no.
I
no,
think I actually am
My
on
Bourbon
MySpace
Podcast.
somewhere.
I'm sure my old
No,
profile
you're still there. I found you.
Chad.
Next week, I don't really know what's coming next because
I don't
our
know.
schedule's a little nebulous right now, but that's okay. Just be on the lookout for that. Chad and Sarah, thank you guys so much for
Thank
being
you.
here.
Thanks,
As always,
Harry.
go watch It's Bourbon Night on YouTube.
Yeah.
We'll see you very soon, but until then, I'm Perry, and this is My Bourbon Podcast.